deploy cash into shorter term securities. And I don't know if that would affect this name. As I said, I'm not in it and I don't know. All right, I'm gonna wait for 135. That's my next outs there on SpaceX. It's been a blast. Thank you to everybody who came through today, right? We put that challenge out to see if we could get 1,000 likes on the stream. Let's see if we did it. We got 1.2K, so my hat's off to you. That's another show, followed by another one. And then Joe and I are back. Another one. And we will say, hopefully Neil's tendinitis will get better. We hope that he's coming back very, very soon. And I can only imagine, man, that must suck because our elbows are always hitting the tables here too. So a little bit of violence there. So we say, get well, Neil. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. It was a great pleasure of mine and honor to do the show with Joe. So let's throw it back over to the midday show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thanks, Joe, again. Thanks you to Adara. Thank you to everybody in the back there running the ones and twos, especially my guy, Andre. So we'll go back over to the midday, and I will see you guys back at 2 p.m. Thank you for enjoying the show. There goes SpaceX.
Whoa. All right. Boom, 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 boom. I like the song, but I think we could use a little bit of a different intro, maybe.
You think so?
Yeah.
What do you want to make it?
No, not the. I like the animation intro. Just maybe a little bit of the music. Song? Yeah.
What are you thinking?
What?
What are you thinking?
It's a good question, Joey. We're gonna have to figure that out. Boom. Greetings, salutations, beautiful people. We can't sell MLS. I know. Why would we sell Miles Lewis Skelly and to Chelsea of all people? Benton, what is going on over at the Emirates? I'm not very happy about that. All right, let's wait for everybody to come on in because they're taking their sweet time today. Shout out to Juan, Tisha, Ricardo, Andrew, the Skip. Shout out to Hangry, Adam, Jong, of course, Benton. We got Vern, we got Scott. Shout out to Brown Lightning as well, man. Taylor Batty's in the house. Fluffy freaking Hippo. Shout out to Black Hole, Son, Jake Hoengi as well, joining us. Speed Wobbles, Jacob Savage. We got the Nos Lamb. I don't know, something like that, man. Cox, Manny Olives. Shout out to Orange, Crazy Dirt Weed, Taylor, Kirk D, Rex Banner, Gorev, Slim Trady. Okay, I do like that
Trady.
one. I like that one, Katina, man. Eclectic Passions, Yannick, Coggy Vids, Your Paradox, Day Trades and Dividends. I do like that. And he's talking about the Q's breakout soon, which I know you're involved with, options, man. Bustin, Grunfeld. We got Bag of Beans. Good day. Right back at you, my man. Mescala. No respect. Does Joe MU have legs from here? He will look at it for you. AJ Easy. We got Chris. We got Mr. Panda. Shout out to Medical Meatball. What happened to Medical Marinara? Gamecraft Nico. Good day, sir. Right back at you. Christmas 1023. Hani Shop. Tyler Lordy. And Joppy. Brooke Levy. We could keep going, Joey.
Yeah, we could.
There's a plethora of individuals.
I don't want to forget. So you guys know what positions I'm in already. So my spiel will be a little bit short here today, but I have to pay a little bit of respect. Every morning we should do this, and sometimes we do forget. Tesla starting to move a little bit here. Some volume stepping in, but we have to give a shout out to our good friends over there on TikTok and Bravely as well, for he is posting the names consistently. And I was going to say I might have spoke too soon, but anyways, aside from that, guys, NK, Junior Peters, Runes for Ranger, what's up, USA, with the Canadian flag. God is my judge. Daniel, I like that one. Love and hope. And then we have Kevin TX, Happy, Entrepreneur, Turtle Hurdle, Eusti, Awel, the Litz Bar. Okay, what's going on? Gregory, how's everyone? Paul, Joshua Wright, Sam, aka Bullpick in the chat. Once again, seeing you yesterday. Doll's New Power TV. All right, this is Trader TV. Scooby-Doo in the chat. The House, City, Uganda, Bryce Sorelli, Frizz, and a couple more. Amir, Realtor, Freebird, Steven Jackson getting the shout out once again to Saint, and obviously Doug, Leanne, and Dragon Fluff with chicken stuff. Cherif likes that one there. Good material, guys. Hey, listen, we're still long the NASDAQ off of the lows. What I do believe is going to be sending this market a little bit lower is the bull flag that is being prolonged, or sorry, the bear flag. Even though it's not the cleanest of price action that is being prolonged, but look at this hefty rejection candle right here on the 5-minute go rep. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more downside here on NVDA. Oh, where's the most amount of open interest that we're seeing on the options chain? $225. Where was the high of earlier in the week, Cherif?
Yes, sir.
$225. No coincidence there, my friend, as we are struggling to break through this level. Once again, Adair bringing us some news, partnering up with a couple of the big banks. I believe it is $500 billion in debt raising there. So the street not loving it. Pullbacks tend to be a little deep in this name, but hey, ASML is up 4.3%. That's not today, Cherif. It is leading the race. And then CrowdStrike negative, and then PanW, both names that hit all-time highs yesterday, slightly red today. Other than that, NVDA to the downside. Watch out for the lower teens. That's where I'm going to be looking to buy a little more.
A little more? You noticed up on that one. He threw a little English accent in there, Katina, man. He tends to do that from time to time, but I like it. All right, guys, let's get right down to work. PLAG? We're just going to call it PLAG. I know PLAG's not spelled that way, but you know my affinity for naming these things. But here we go. Joseph, options. We are halted to the upside on PLAG. Right into that $2.01 area. We're going to open this up on a trading screen momentarily. But this one's been all over the map, man. It broke trend. It was putting in higher lows, higher highs in the pre. And then it dipped down here at 9. It caught a bid at random time, right? 10 a.m. reclaims VWAP, and it hasn't looked back since. So PLAG, where we're going to look at that. CIGL coming from the very expensive price of 41.96. That is the area low, high 69.50. But take a look at what it did in the pre on volume. It got to 92 pennies on volume. These are the biggest volume bars on the day. Whether or not they occurred at 5 a.m., they are the biggest volumes bars on the day. RPD broke out, looks like yesterday in the aftermarket around 4. So this one could be an earnings play. Don't really care. Just going to trade it with respect to momentum off technical levels. RPD, QMCO. We've seen this one before. This is a former convict. It did catch a bid as well, like RPD, in the aftermarket yesterday. 4 or 5 breakout. We're ramping up today through that $15 area. $14.50 high today, yesterday. $18.80 high. We could see 20 by the time the day is done. And Joseph, it's not big spile in the house, not quite yet anyway, but look at HTZ. It broke out yesterday at the open, 9:30, gave it all back within minutes, did it again at 4:25, broke out, gave it back within minutes, and it's not giving it back within minutes this time, but my spidey sense tells me there may be better trades here. So watch out for HTZ, FSLY. This is the second day in a row we're putting Fastly on. Look at the rippage yesterday on Fastly off 22.5. When all was said and done, it had touched 28 today, 28.85. Not strictly a small cap gapper, of course, but we're mentioning it. ABCL. This is a second day play. Look at what it did. Look what it did yesterday. And the fact that I have the ticker on there from yesterday tells me that I was alive to it. Guys, I forget some of the tickers that I trade because we just go through so many. I can go through like 15, 20 different names on the side chart within a day, so I tend to forget them. And then last but not least, SION, flat top break. I would suggest to you guys through 5.25, touched 5.5. I wouldn't mind seeing a retracement into 5.30 or 5.25 for a pullback, and then another move here to the high side. So that's what we're just going to do in 1 second. Assassino, I just want to get Arthur. Thank you for whatever RON currency is. 10 RON. Cherif, sut, dog. What? Eddie Zero DTE plays. Fabian, he said suh, S-U-H. Suh, dog. No, not Sue. That's a good one, though. Sue. I do like that. We're going to get to that one in 1 second. And another one, short side, Sharpnel, 199. Cherif, TTV. When do you ever go long the Qs? Never, my friend. The answer is never. No, I can't say never. I really don't know. I only trade small caps, though, right? But I will talk anything you guys want. You want me to look at technical levels for you for a specific name? It's my job to do so. So make sure you're tagging me, letting me know, Joey.
All right, good stuff, guys. VinFast reported strong Q2 momentum, delivering more than 70,000 EVs globally, up 96% year over year. First half deliveries reached nearly 129,000 vehicles, up 78%, reinforcing the company's growth trajectory across expanding EV portfolio. By mid-year, VinFast had already achieved approximately 43% of both its 2026 4W and 2W delivery targets, putting the company firmly on track across both growth engines. VinFast, shout out to them. VFS on the NASDAQ there. Here it is, guys. Look, watch out. Something's stepping into the market. As Cherif says, the volume is upticking, and you can see an aggressive moving lower. It's our boy. What's he got to say today? So, hey, anyways, you rang? No, we did not ring, man, at all.
I rang, bro.
Hey, I'll take that. No, he's been nice to me lately, man. So do you know who Thomas Shelby is?
I don't.
Tell me, I can't,
Joey.
man, my guy.
You're not allowed to tell me?
Yeah, shout out to Thomas Shelby, the man himself. But yeah, Cecino loves that one. Listen, we were talking about AMD. How are those AMD plays? Sean and I don't even think we brought up Advanced Money Destroyer here, Duplicator, over the past 3 hours that we were trading together.
Oh.
This is what I was referring to. I'd like to trade. Why? Because I do believe that this shelf is going to give way. Just wait for the momentum to really step in. You can see how it's been prolonged, and we're not breaking 422, 420. There, hit the weed, Batman, Katina, man, boom, to the downside. So this is what I'm looking for. I wouldn't be surprised if we see high 300s in this thing. It just might take a little bit of time in order for this trade to really start to pick up its momentum. But at some point, I do believe it will. I could be completely wrong, and I'm totally fine with that. Speaking of that, this is my opportunity to add a little shares here in the TQQQ's trade. Whether it works or not is going to be a completely different story, but from a price action standpoint, I'm seeing exactly what I want to display. So I'll start with my original size here, and then we're going to be looking for a move and a rebound back in towards the volume weighted average price and even potentially the high of the day. So shout out to Thomas Shelby and the Peaky Blinders, Cherif. You would know
people, Joey?
The Shelbys, man. You never heard about them?
Like the people for Shelby Mustang?
No, not them folks.
Shelby, Peaky Blinders is like a show, British show. It's set in like a very time, like
early 1900s.
It's really good.
Yeah, everybody knows this but me.
Yeah, that's all right, man. You're not. Hey, man, let's be real. You're not missing out on anything. So on that one here, let's see if we can get rocking and rolling.
Dunked on the show.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I think this is more important though because we can. Whoa. I'll just hit that. Someone hit the fail. Whoever hit the fail.
Oh, it's probably your friend Ram.
Aside from that 7350,
back there.
She's not even here today. She was here bright and early.
Bro,
actually 9:30.
There she is, man.
7350 is probably going to be our out because you can see our average has been raised. We're now slightly out of the money on this one. Oh man, 218.91 on NVDA. Looks like this floor is about to be broken. We'll have to keep an eye out on this one.
All right, Archer news. Let me look. ACHR looking. I know they had headline yesterday. Here it is. They reported better than expected Q2 sales. Also, Cantor Fitzgerald reiterating their overweight rating on the stock and maintaining an $11 price target. Archer Aviation up 11 and 4/5, 11.82%, $5.3 billion market cap for Archer Aviation. So that's the headline there. All right, let's get right down to work, man. So CIGL, I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at SION. Where's that hot garbage SION? There it is. Okay, good. It's back into that 5 1/3. So we're going to give this the old community college try. We're going to stop out below that 5 1/5. So let's go ahead and do that, Joey. So we take the subjectivity right out of that. Now, you're probably wondering, Cherif, PLAG is up 255% and it's halted. When the hell is this thing going to open? Good question. I don't have the answer to that. But what I do have a response to is the fact that it is on the MX network. So we have no idea what the theoretical auction price is during the halt. And you can see that very clearly here on my tap, which will always be right there on my level 2 saying 201. And that's the halt price. Joseph Options, this halted 11:02:04. It is currently 11:16. So the earliest this will open is 11:17:04. We shall see when and if it does open at that price. Get it, Assassino, but you know what I'm getting? We're taking profits already, man. There goes SION into the high. We're taking a little bit more here. We're looking for a 530 hold, and then we're looking for 550. What's going on over there, Katina, man? Oh, that was not you. Oh, that was your friend, the option.
That wasn't me either. That was not me, trust me.
All right, here we go. SLC, $5 super chat. We thank you for that. Hey, guys, I thought I bought the dip for app, but it seems like people aren't app loving it. Okay. Your thoughts? Thanks. Let's take a look at APP, Joseph.
All right.
We're going to load this. But you know what we're going to do, options, man? We're going to go on this screen here, lest this open without my knowing about it. And that will disappoint me greatly. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring in the old trusty, stupid side chart that's found its way. Oh, it's open. Here, hold on. We're going to limit up here. We're limiting up on at PLAG. I tried to get some. It won't let me in. It's not letting me in here. Okay, so that's fine. Limit up PLAG 257. Dang, man. Up 354%. This is really going now. And now we're above 2.5, and we could be seeing 5 very shortly. Get ready, because if PLAG is gonna do this, well, we've seen this story before, haven't we? Now, just allow me to get this stupid chart from my back window over here. There we go. Up. No, it's not letting me drag it, Joey.
Uh-oh.
I know, right? Sucks. Well, whatever. We'll just do it over here. We'll bring it in on this one. Let's put APP up on there, and then we'll get to Big Spiles. Because I did see that super from your friend, Big Spy.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the weekly first and foremost, so we can get a better look at what we're gonna do here. Okay, so sadly, we are below 350. Okay, I was looking for a hold of this area. That is trouble that we didn't hold up at this area. However, that $300 area is of import as well. Why? Because it's basically just a couple of dollars above the 200 exponential moving average on the weekly, okay? I don't like the fact that we lost this area, which would have been a 375 to 350 support. We did get as low last week as 298. So the fact that we defended 300 is good news. The fact that we have a lower high this week is bad news, but it's kind of assuaged a little bit by the higher low. So the low of this week is 319.60. So we haven't even been close to 300 yet. I would say 300 is an interesting buy area. You're going to have trouble, though, on the way up between 350 to 375. And then, obviously, you're going to have trouble with 4. It does feel a little bit weak here. This is not an easy chart pattern to read because you've broken down from aerial lows, and now you're basically looking to the moving averages to keep you afloat. That's the weekly. Let's go to the daily. Let me see if I have a bit of a different look on the daily. No, my opinion stays the same. That we lost this shelf here. Now, the only thing kind of keeping you a little bit, maybe feeling that we may not bleed into 3 again is this area. That's from July and August of 2025. So this is a year ago price action. It's an area bottom here that we held for a number of weeks, if not months. It looks like a month of support at around that 330 to 325 area. So that's app. I got to tell you, I'm not a big fan. Okay, the chart doesn't look good. But hey, man, if you bought the chart when it looked great, then would you make as much money to the high side, right? So good luck with that. I hope you print. Want to cover Big Spiles?
Yeah, absolutely. Pull up that super chat. Joey took half that AMD put play off in the down move at the open. Really smart play. Might roll the profits forward to a further out strike. Okay. Still got the SPY puts on. I agree. I think that's be a pretty logical and smart play, Kyle, just due to the fact that you do have that void below that that support level, right at 522 or whatever it may be, 422. I do believe we're going to head a little bit lower. So I do believe the out of the money strategy is something that can definitely work out really well for you. What's working out for us really well, I'll pull it up here momentarily. I just want to touch base on this NVDA trade off the low. Gorb, I was going to message you there, brother, to see if we're going to get a little bit more of a bounce, but not too bad so far. Small size once again on this bad boy. But let's head back over to our Big Spile. Lele, I didn't see what you meant. This isn't a scanner. If this is what you were referring to, this is just my watch list. Cherif has that as well too, so we can probably get that to you momentarily. But anyways, aside from that, I really like if you're buying these 400s at a later date, I do like that play, because if you do get some strong momentum sessions, then off to the races you go to the downside, you can really gain some time value off of that one. So nice play there, brother. We also have another super chat that I would like to go over as well too, Assassino. When you get a chance, look at Grab and AXON. For sure, we got a chance right now. GRAB. Let's see what we're going to grab from this one. Okay, so what I'm taking from a Grab Holdings, not overly familiar with the name, but I mean $3.27 is that potential base. Moving forward, let's actually zoom out quite a bit here and see what we got going on the weekly. I mean, not disastrous. Not quite familiar with what they do. Lakeside Holdings Limited is a company. The company, through its subsidiary, Hupan Pharmaceuticals, that's crazy, is a medical injection and pharmaceutical distributor. Okay, interesting. So you're getting into the biotech. That's definitely Cherif's world, if you ask me, something that I'm not overly familiar with. Before I send it back to him, one more name on that super chat. If he wants to go over those, he can. Ooh, Axon Enterprise. This is a really, really good move here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this, from May of 22 all the way to where we're currently trading at, 600%. We'll take that all day, and then a bounce from earlier in the year, April, from 347 bucks, almost a double up in that level. Would love to know your average price, but things are looking pretty good, if you ask me, in both of those names, brother.
All right, guys, quick reminder. Trader TV Live members get Cherif's, mine, daily morning research note every single trading day that I am in the house. We're talking about the big market stories, Joey. How about the key levels, the trade plans, the catalysts, and what we're actually watching into the open? It is only $4.99 a month, and you also get members-only videos, you get posts, custom emojis, and loyalty badges. Hit join. Hit the join button below this video to sign up. And Assassino, if you'll allow me, my man, I just want to show them quickly over here kind of how it looks like. So there you go. You got the main headline of the day, Nvidia $500 billion plan being backstopped by the Wall Street boys. They like it. So you get the story there. You get the, the main story. We're not going to go into the nitty gritty. It's just to give you an idea why this is running. But more importantly, you get the technicals. This is a trading show, so we got to talk technicals, right? You're going to get the intraday levels, which we chart off the 15. You're going to get the swing levels, which we chart off the 4-hour. And then you're going to get an explanation of structure, especially if you're a newer trader. Sometimes it looks like the chart action or the price action is all over the map. We help make sense of that for you. We show you exactly what the chart structure is on the 15, on the 4-hour, and then we give you a bias. We tell you, look, moderately bullish. The $500 billion financing framework could remove a major capital constraint on future AI infrastructure, although the lack of committed contracts could put this a little bit into question. So we explain why we're moderately bullish, why we're moderately bearish, and then the trade plan, right? How do you get in? If you get A, then B, or if this price comes in, then you should be looking for this certain event. And you get that for both the intraday, as well as the swing, as well as the catalyst, what we're watching, and the execution mindset to kind of help you make sense of it all. So thank you very much to everybody who signed up. And yes, I got stopped out of that. We're going to get right back in, as I do like the look of this one's jib. I should have been putting my out at around 520, but it did dip down a little bit. So SION, back involved in that. We're still waiting for PLAG to kind of open up here. Halt time 11:17:19. It's 11:25. The earliest open will be 11:27:19. All right, so I see a lot of tags coming in the house. Made me think of the house party, and somehow you guys as a kid and play just fits. Okay, well, we have a good time, right? Adam wants me to look at YYGH. Sure. Let's have a look at YYGH. Yeah, a little light for me, Adam, in terms of volume, 496,000 shares. It's obviously up about 9%, higher lows, higher highs, but the volume is a little bit of an issue for me with respect to this one. How about Gabzor? Wait, you cover big caps for your morning show, but only trade small caps? Yes, exactly. That's exactly it, right? TA is technical analysis, of course, is fractal. You can look at it on whatever time frame, and it basically works the same way. Execution, however, is a little bit different on these bad boys. So HTZ, says Alex. I've got HTZ on the side chart, brother, right here. So HTZ, we've got that right over here, 265 high. As I mentioned, this one did retrace the entire move yesterday, both in the pre-market or in the open and in the aftermarket as well. Today, it's not as retrace aggressive. It's holding much closer to highs than it is near the lows. 260 right now, high at days 265. Definitely keeping an eye on that, but haven't quite executed on it yet. In two positions, SION and CIGL. Trying to build a position. I didn't mention anything about my CIGL trade, so let me do that right now. I see a flat top break possibly brewing here at 70. It's a 69.50 high. There's been multiple wicks in the 69, the 70 area, all of which have rejected. However, there are higher lows into that 70 penny area. To me, that says one thing, mostly one thing, which is an ascending wedge pattern that I lovingly call the flat top break. So we're going to build a position, nice and slowly here on CIGL with a view to clearing 70 pennies. And if all goes well, maybe we even see the dollar options, man.
Nice. There goes Sandus, actually, $1,200, but also Gorab, nice grab off of the lows here. We're long via NVDA, so that was a nice little grab right off the bottom. Risk to reward was there for us for a potential rebound, and a lot of the stars were aligning for us here. Let's break it down momentarily. So what we have...
Song by Majid Jordan and Drake.
Yeah, we were talking about it the other day. There's a couple of Majid. You know, they were performing at Do West Fest. Apparently, they did a little pop-up. Yeah, someone was telling me. It might have been someone from here, to be honest with you, telling us that they did a little pop-up at Do West Fest.
No way, bro.
Yeah, in the summer.
I would have liked
Do West Fest is such a great time, man. That's pretty much what I...
Limit down PLAG.
NVDA, right? So again, you have this breakdown here, and then this nice little indecision print was like, okay, maybe we can find some form of a rebound. Now, I want to know what's not helping the NASDAQ move a little bit higher. Like, as we're down a little bit on this one, how many shares do I have? Oh, okay, that's why. I'm like, what is even going on here? I have significantly more shares than what I thought I put on here on the NASDAQ, so that's not working out for us. But what is NVDA? We need to find some form of a rebound. But who is the large cap name that is reigning on our parade here today, Cherif? Is it Meta? No, because it's up 2.5%. Who may it be? SpaceX down 2.7%, but bouncing off the lows, Gorb. You might like these signals right here. Cherif's printing up a storm, but Amazon, oh, nice indecision print. So I don't know what's dragging us down right now. Is my question. Is it Google? Yeah, Google might be the culprit here, as we are about to put in some new lows, giving back some of the gains here from not too long ago on NVDA.
All right, man. PLAG is it's going crazy here. It just went into 3 different false halts. 2 to the upside and 1 to the downside. We're long here. We're long into the high of the day. But this has been I don't know why there's such a resistance level at 57. Kind of bizarre. The initial halt up at 11:15, 257 high. Then it was a 10-minute halt. And now this is the 11:25 bar on the 5, 257 high. Interesting price action here from PLAG. So we're going to keep a close eye on this one. We'll let you know exactly what the situation is. Of course, we will have to fly blind. By that, I mean, if you're a newer trader, of course, you don't know what I mean by that. We don't know what the theoretical auction price is. So there's essentially a price that the exchange can give us based upon how many buy orders and sell orders are coming in during the halt. The way you send those in is a limit or market on open order. And we have that option here. And when they get those orders, the exchange pairs them so that there's an orderly resumption once this thing opens. And based upon the pairing of those buy and sell orders, we're able to get a theoretical price of what it's going to be at the open. You will not get that unless you are trading a name on the NASDAQ. So that includes the NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange. So be on the lookout here. We're flying blind on PLAG. Go ahead, Joe.
Dude, I had like think about it. I got so Cherif. Take a look at this, my guy. $1.50 is when I got in after this one halt. I get out at the halt band, and then after I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this is this is the end of the run. Yeah, okay, AC Slater to that, as we're all the way up to $2.57. So not too bad of a look right there, ladies and gentlemen, on PLAG. Cherif's getting involved in that one, 254 in that halt, bad boy.
Ooh. Get it.
Nice little look there, my guy. Now, as for the NASDAQ, not finding any form of a rebound, as SanDisk really starting to pick up some momentum to the northeast, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. Not too bad of a look here. Excuse me, I just drank a cranberry juice, so now I got the hiccups. But man, this should drag us higher. If we can get the volume-weighted average price, it's going to be cash money.
Ripping CIGL.
You want to go over?
Breaking out, Joey. So taking out the high. This is the flat top break we spoke about. We're involved here at 66s. Here comes 72. There goes 72. Give me my money, man. There we go. Now we're going to post at 73. And then can you guess where I'm going to post after that?
69.
Come on, we're at 73, bro.
Oh, my bad.
This guy is not even concentrating. I love it. Here we go. We're going to this guy killing me, bro. Here we go, man. We're posting here. We're going up to 75. Topping tail candle. This is not good. This is very bad. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if it's very bad. 73.68, it's bleeding its own blood, coming right back down. It has to hold trend. If it loses 60, I'm out. Wow, man, this is a bamboozling entry over here. Holy days. Let's see exactly what we get here. Let's add into this position, see if we can pop up a little bit more into the area high. If it loses 60, though, I will have to get out of this one. So keeping an eye here on CIGL. Wow, man, someone got a hold of this. Look at the sell order coming in on CIGL here. This is aggressive from 73 down to 62. Come on, bro. Let's go, man. Let's trap the bears here who are obviously piling in quite aggressively into this short. We've got 66s on. Let's see if we can recover, Joey, back into 70. I stop out south of 60. Let's send it up to the big desk where Juan and Adara are hanging out.
11:30 a.m. It's not just the time that AMD was set to begin speaking at the KeyBank Leadership Forum in Technology, which was 11:30 there, a couple minutes into that presentation. But 11:30 was also the time that the Euro market closed today. So here to take us through the European market performance on the now closed session is Juan.
Thank you, Adara. So European markets closed mixed today as oil price pressures remained on sentiment for investors. So if we take a look at the stocks Euro 600, consolidating near highs right now. I mean, they paused their following recent gains as healthcare as well as financial beats offset that of industrial lags in the region. We take a look at the DAX Germany, up by 0.42%, holding steady. Strength in tech as well as chemical lines offset that of yield pressure. The losses were led by Allianz, down by 0.5%, Airbus down by 1.4%, as well as Adidas, down by nearly 3%. But those declines were offset by gains in Deutsche Telekom, rebounding to 1.4%, Siemens Energy up by 3.4%, as well as Infineon, up by 1.6%. Over in France, the CAC 40 up marginally 0.04%, ticking into positive territory, buoyed by, of course, banking as well as luxury line stabilization. Energy also continues to outperform, supported by higher crude prices, with Total Energies up by 1.4%. Industrial and healthcare also came a little bit under pressure, with ST Microelectronics down more than 3%, Safran down more than 0.5%, and Stellantis down by 2%. In the United Kingdom, energies also continued to perform well due to rising crude prices. BP, Shell both up more than 1.5%, while UK retail sales rose by about 1.3% year over year in July, below that of the 1.8% 12-month average. However, Barclays consumer spending rose by 2%, its strongest 2026 growth. So we've got a lot of consumer spending in the United Kingdom, stabilizations in the economy in that sector. Now, what's coming for tomorrow? Of course, yields are going to be rising. Well, they've already risen ahead of US CPI prints. Sovereign yields such as the Germany's 10-year bond yield reached 3.21%. That's up by 2 basis points. Higher than expected print tomorrow for the US CPI definitely will reinforce that of hawkish sentiment and will also put a lot of pressure in tech growth as well as real estate equities at the opening for European markets tomorrow. We've also got Eurozone industrial production and trade metrics coming in. So upcoming German and also French industrial production data will be coming in tomorrow. So see if factory activity will be expanding, especially amid higher energy costs in the region. So that's what to look out for in the European market tomorrow.
And before then, you can look out in this space at 3:30 p.m. where one will take us through the Asian markets. But in the meantime, we'll go back up to the midday.
Thanks, Juan and Adira, for that one. Yeah, absolutely disastrous. Google, I shouldn't say disastrous, but Google really dragging the market down here, guys. Curl over turtle shell price action, and then now heading towards the low of the day. And I'm like, what is holding us back? Because you have so many names moving higher. What's up, Randy? Moving higher. And I'm like, why isn't the NASDAQ moving alongside with it? And I found my answer. It is GOOGL. Now, as for the NASDAQ, let's pull this bad boy out. We're going to have to get out of here. And with that being said, I have double the amount of shares than what I was anticipating in. And we're going to have to get out momentarily, especially if there's no snapback relatively soon. And then we give back the majority of our profits. Funny how that works. You put on all these winning trades and then one allows you to lose and give back everything. That's not how you want to trade, but that's why it's such a difficult game, because when you piece out your winners, right, and you get all out as a loser, it just makes it hard. But we took a little bit off here, the top on NVDA. NASDAQ not finding anything. I mentioned that multiple times. How are the banks performing? We'll figure that out. JPM up 0.4%. Let's send it over to the desk.
It seems that people in the chat asking what's happening with USO. We did get a little bit of a move up here, so I'll talk about it. Basically what happened here is apparently in a post on X, the advisor to Supreme Leader, I guess this advisor's name is Mokbar, saying that the Strait of Hormuz will not be reopened until Iran's conditions are met. This is not new information. This is not shocking information, but either way, looks like this could be what the market's reacting to, rather what USO is reacting to here. So again, for those wondering what happened with USO, just more reiteration here out of Iran saying that they want their conditions to be met before the Strait of Hormuz can be reopened. Back to you.
All right. Yeah. I mean, same stuff going on over there. TQs, let's pull this bad boy up and see what we got going on. Come on. At this point, we're just looking for our initial capital back. We'll get out break even, but now you can see my risk to reward has drastically changed. That's why it's key to get out when you're supposed to. 73.50 should have been our Gonzino. Volatility spiked to the downside. Now, how deep and how big is this snapback going to be? You can see that we continuously hit the bid. So when you're paying attention to the tape, guys, and when I'm playing the momentum plays in the small caps, you can see the difference. A lot of a mixed bag here. When you're trading small cap, it's momentum and very distinctive. So whatever it is, what it is, I'm not going to take any more attempts on the NASDAQ.
All right, man. PLAG is very, very random. So it got caught almost in an up halt upon resumption, got caught in a halt down parameter, up halt parameter, down halt parameter, and then halted up. So it is very difficult to trade this one, at least for me, okay? I don't know how I'm going to trade this. If I'm going to trade it at all, I feel a little silly, you know, not trading the biggest small cap gapper on the day. You know, it's really difficult to read because it just keeps getting caught in these parameters, both to the upside and the downside. So I'm not sure how this cookie crumbles. Maybe I'll trade it with smaller size just to get the reps in, but I feel like I don't have a read on it. And CIGL also bamboozled me. Into the high, we took 73 at the high, 73.5. And then look what it did. It lost 65, even though it reclaimed 70. Look at it, just bleeding. PLAG is open. Ooh. PLAG is open. All right, watching here. Looking for a move down and then a move back up. That's been this one's modus operandi. Let's see if we can kind of catch that. Limit down is 69 here. Oh, God, we're going to get caught in this halt here. Let's add it to this position. Let's see if it bounces back up. It's done that almost every single time. Right back up it goes. Watch out here for the false halt parameter. It's doing it again into 74. No, there's no continuation though. See, it keeps getting caught in the halt parameter to the downside, right? But it's not popping up far enough. So it keeps getting caught in that 63 down halt, which I don't mind getting into. Let's defend it into the 50 if we can. Look how bamboozling this right back up again. It's just this, you see what I'm saying, guys? But this time it just keeps getting caught in the downhaul. I feel like I should be getting out of this, but let's, oh my days. Look at this, look at this. 59 limit down. Now I have to get out of this, man. This is just too much for me. It's completely unreadable. What am I gonna do with this? It's just completely unreadable. It keeps getting caught in false halt parameters and pops back up. I don't think this is the right use of my energy, to be quite honest with you. I'm leaving PLAG alone. Do we have a bad loss on it? Not at all. Actually, I'm almost break even on the name. And then it's gonna halt up now at 89. Wow, I haven't seen one like this before, man. Let me tell you, it keeps getting caught in down halt and up halt parameters. Look, now it's gonna halt up. 289, limit up. And then false halt, right back down again into the mid 80s. Yeah, so this one, woo. All right, I'm gonna let that one go. What else do we have over here? Let's bring in the side charts. I'm leaving that one alone. RPD at VWAP, bouncing off the volume weighted average price, but doesn't really look appetizing. SION, I had to get at that because it can't get through 535. So this one looks like it's headed down to maybe 510, maybe even 5 at the volume weighted average price. Grunfeld since PLAG, it came down from under $1. It'll be a halt fest, as you probably know. I'm fine with the halt fest, brother. It's just, I finished explaining why I'm not involved in it. It's because it keeps getting caught in halt parameters, both to the upside and the downside. And I just can't risk, you know, being caught in that kind of move. So I'm gonna let that one go. I don't have any good ones right now. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So I have to look at the scanner to see what is coming up. MSGY, I see that one is making a move. Perhaps we can take off CIGL, which is lost trend, MSGY. Let's bring that one in. Doesn't look the greatest either, but there could be support here at 5. It had a bit of a double top into that $5 area. Here it is, right back at 5 after making a 588 area high. MSGY is the ticker, I believe. MSGY, yeah. Let's load that up. Yeah, so there is $5 support, but as you can see, it's spready. The spread on this one is 5 pennies, 4 pennies. I'm just looking at my blotter up there, and my scanner, I mean. 488 seems to be a level where people keep buying. That was a double top originally, and then this candle has a low of 488, so that could be something we keep an eye on there. That 488 level could be interesting. Let's take off CIGL. Ooh. We do apologize for the noise, guys, but you guys know that we're still in construction mode here. So, yeah, just a little while longer. The other side is almost done, by the way. So, continuing to watch here, MSGY come back down into 5. Let's see if we can bottom pick this. This one looks like a big mover as well, with 121 percentage points under its wings right now. I will have to give this to 88 if I do get in, seeing as that is the candle low. So that's what I'm looking at right now, Joey. What are you looking at, brother?
I'm looking at my stop out here on the NASDAQ as it starts to find a rebound here. We get out at those lows, 73.30. Now I'm thinking about a re-entry on NVDA, but again, the tape is just so choppy. This is the tape here on NVDA. It's going to be reflected to the actual underlying price asset itself. Again, it's just such a mixed bag, and with that being said, it's probably, if it's like that, then you just got to avoid it at all costs. Same with the same narrative here. You can see how it's just coming in, multiple different prints at the bid and above the ask. Even though it is started finding some form of a rebound, it was Google himself that was helping drag the overall market. Now let's head over to our watch list. Again, we had a couple of trades on here today. Apple not doing too bad. Only negative about 1/3%, but volume really starting to uptick here, ladies and gentlemen. So maybe you're getting somewhat of a rotation into AAPL. Surprisingly so, SpaceX still down 3%, Microsoft down 1%, Meta up 1.8 at the peak here around these highs. It was closer to 3% there. Palantir, who had a couple of extremely strong sessions, bleeding a little bit south of the volume weighted average price, so not the best look on Palantir today. But Taiwan Semi, how are you doing? Not our average day trader, but things aren't looking too horrible. Let's send it over.
Yeah, baby.
So just something coming in here, there was a bit of a volume spike, not a bit, quite a bit of a volume spike on USO. So Mohsen Razai, who is the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council of Iran, has said that the United States must end the war and release blocked Iranian funds. Just repeating that Iranian outlets reporting that Iran's Mohsen Razai, who is the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council of Iran, saying that the United States must end the war and release blocked Iranian funds.
Thank you very much for that, Sia.
What is this stupid thing doing? Why is it blocking my messages? All right, guys, I have to cover this. MSGY just ripped up into area highs. We got 06s. It's taken out. So the current bar high, 78s. We got 06s on this. It's fighting with the $0.50 now. I've got a bunch of prints waiting at 69 OZN, and then I'm waiting at 88s. There it goes into 69. We still haven't printed 88s. This one is ripping up here. Look at the tape move on this. Okay, so this one is very active. So watch for the loss of 5. MSGY. Oh, my Lanta. MSGY. It's not updating on my side chart, of course, because I didn't put it into the side watch list. Out. It's going to fail 5. What an out, bro. Look at this dip. It's going to limit down here, I think 470 something. 472 limit down. What a move back into 5. Jeez Louise. These are very volatile today. There is just there's no chill on any of these names. 423 limit down on MSGY. That was a good move to the high side, but an equally aggressive move to the downside. My days. Let's see if this one can kind of reclaim 5. I'm not going to say we can use 5 as support. Certainly we cannot. Current bar low is 488. In fact, I was actually waiting to get more at 88. So let me see if we can kind of build another position here at 5 now that it's moseyed back into that 5 area with a view to taking this out at 88. There we go. Let's go ahead. 4. We're going to go 85. We'll give this to 70. So we're in at 06s. Let me just set something up here. We'll go 525 for that, and then we'll go 533. Should probably put it a little bit higher, 555 on that. Let's see if it holds up at 88. So we got 06s, 15s coming in. Let's see if we can get a big price spike up through the $0.25. Seller at 13 here that we can't shake. So yeah, some selling locally, but I want to give this a try. That $5 seems like a recycled support level that keeps coming in. I'll give it to the 88s, which is current bar low. I know for a fact somebody was buying at 88s, whether or not they continue to buy or others continue to buy at that level. We'll have to wait and see. They were selling at 15s. Now they're selling at 14s. This is typical algorithmic behavior that takes it up. We get the beak wet at 25s. We're looking for more options, man, into 33. There's no continuity quite yet. Let's see if we can price spike up. Big seller at 25. So we saw 27s there, but nothing at the $0.33 quite yet. So good trading here on MSGY, but I don't think we're definitely not out of the water yet. As I saw this dip from 88s into 5s, quick as you like that. So hard to kind of trade anything else when something is this volatile options, man. So we're gonna keep an eye out on this.
All right, yeah, I'm just running through my scan. I got my eyes hyper-focused on NVDA just in case there's any form of a rebound there. We'll head over to our small cap, look for some solid momentum. PLAG right here, guys, on the Amex, I believe. We took a trade on this one, 297, halted to the top side, so we'll keep our eye on that bad boy after it opens up. Read that tape and see if we can find ourselves an additional entry. CIGL, other than that, the NASDAQ, Juan, I seen you ask me how I feel about the market at these lows. Listen, we're in this perpetual downtrend right now. I would avoid it, okay? Look, you're going to break some support. You're breaking support here on NVDA as it's putting in a new low of the day. Google's curling over, and it's just been a mixed bag. Yesterday was a complete chop fest in the overall market. Today, I'm not surprised by the exact same thing. What we will do is we'll head over to our watch list, zoom out on the NASDAQ, and see what we got going on. Why? Because it could be potentially condor time. Once again, we have this breakdown. Hangry Wife and I were discussing this a while ago. Until it broke that level, it was AC Slater to that one. But think about it. You have 2 straight months of sideways price action within this range. I think we're going to fall into the exact same neck of the woods. Now, take this into consideration. NASDAQ is the only major average indice that has not hit all-time highs yet. We're still about 5% off of that marker, 4% to be exact. So be patient, wait for that. But the way the look of NVDA right now, At some point it will, just not yet. But a couple of the other names who have been lagging, if they decide that they want to play catch up, then by all means, you might see a new all-time high in the NASDAQ and on NVDA. I really want to take the long on this bad boy, but I don't think it's going to play out. And I'm going against the trend. You know what Kramer says? Own it, don't trade it. Even though I can't help but trade it. Gorev, are you still sitting in it? Because we took a small scalp on it and then we took the rest out. Otherwise, we would have ended up taking a small loss on this. 40% up here at the highs. We take that bad boy out, and now it's starting to find a rebound. Now, I really want to refine my system because I'm sick of having these days where it's like, okay, I go on this insane streak, and then for some reason, I just go ice cold, and not a good ice cold, too. It's super frustrating. So what I have to do is I have to limit my systems and my entries. With that being said, very, very decisive. The more deep in criteria you get and the more specificity is key, that means you're going to trigger less trades, but the higher probability really starts to amp up. And that's what I need to get back to, especially when I start to go a little bit of cold.
Yay.
I mean, yeah, it's not, hey, man. Okay, so a lot of people ask me about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I don't even know. Is it even existent at this point? Like, here's IBIT down another percentage point. Looks like it wants to curl over. We're going to have to wait a couple of years for this stuff to get into play once again. Now, Coin had a little bit of a pop. To the individual who was asking us about this, Coin, you take that. You take the money and you run sometimes in the market, especially with names that are down 60+% off of the highs. See you later. Now, I mentioned if I'm buying Bitcoin again, it's via MSTR or BMNR. Leverage plays, I'm not going with the direct asset itself. Doesn't make any sense, especially at these lows. Considering there's already so much removed from a price action standpoint from these bad boys that if they're going to go back to all-time highs, your risk to reward is much greater in these leverage plays. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. In my opinion, I could be completely wrong. And with that being said, I probably am going to be, because come the new year, once you see a rotation out of some of these plays, who knows? It can go anywhere and it could be into the crypto space.
Let's send it up to Sia.
I have my earpiece in.
There's more comments coming in here from the same person, Mohsen Razai, saying that if agreement between Iran and Oman over transit in Hormuz is reached, this will be a separate matter from the closure of the strait. Also, another comment that's coming in is that as long as America, he said that as long as America does not change its behavior and does not accept Iran's conditions, the Strait of Hormuz will not be reopened.
All right, yeah, so here it is, right? Like, so on the NASDAQ, I'm not going to be selling these lows. So I have to wait for a pop if we are going to go short on this thing. Sean had a prime time entry over here, 722.27, then all the way to the downside, looking like it wants to crack through that support. But as soon as if I were to post up here a punch at 719 or whatever that may be on the TQs, 73.26, it would find a rebound, and then therefore my risk to reward isn't where I want it to be, right? At the volume weighted average prices where I would be wrong. AMD there, and you can see everything starting to lose all of the gains from earlier this morning. That's all I have right now. I can head over to small caps and see what we have. I would rather play a momentum style play than sit here in these grinding bids in these large caps.
Yeah, well, there's not much better luck today in small caps. Everything is kind of dropping except PLAG. Got stopped out again of MSGY. We did well on this one initially through 5 into almost 6. Added again into 5, into 5.5, added again into 5, then it failed 88. So we give back a little bit there. I got to tell you, other than PLAG, I am not a big fan of anything that's happening right now. I don't want to trade PLAG. It gets caught into too many up and down halts. So it's a little bit hard to trade. I could keep my eye here on HTZ, which I feel may be setting up a little bit better than some of its compatriots over here with some higher lows, but by the same token, it's got lower highs on it. So, yeah, I don't really know how this cookie crumbles, man. Yeah, everything is headed to the downside, possibly QMCO breaking out into 18 1/3, 18 1/4, but that's also still putting in some lower highs, as you can clearly see there with that bull flag. So, yeah, a little bit of a lighter bunch today. HTZ is not a small cap yet, says Jackie Eisen. You're absolutely right. We did mention that at the top of the show. Said we will trade it like one, though, but thank you for pointing that out. Hesh, damn, you got some guns on you. Oh, wait till I start flexing, brother. Then you'll see the guns. But right now, we're not going to do that. Tom Cutter, Cherif, you got to know when to fold them. You're absolutely right, brother. If you're just punching in blindly, and just, punch and pray, as we used to say around here, you're going to get in some trouble. But I'm not touching PLAG. I just don't have a read on it, right? What's the point in getting clipped on a name that I don't have a read on? I get it is ripping up 478. It's above $3. It could see 5, but I've tried. I did poorly on it, so going to keep my eye on something that I can actually trade. We're going to keep an eye here on HTZ. I think I want to work into this one. Where did I put that bad boy? HTZ. I know. I hit enter, but it didn't hit enter twice, so it didn't update the charts. What I can do for HTZ is I can wait for the breach of a local area high. To me, that local area high is around 63. Now, the problem is 63 is like 2 pennies from the high of the day, which is 65. So it's almost like a breakout trade, unless I pick it up off an area low. So previous area low is about 51. So I could wait at 55s, 53s. Just don't have a read. Yeah, that's the problem. I do not have a read on these ones. And yeah, that's basically the situation I find myself in at the moment. Let's flip to the 5-minute chart up top here, see if anything else is moving. Just taking a quick look. Let me bring in the scanner so everybody can follow along here. So we'll just maximize that bad boy, and we'll look to see what is breaking out. If anything, Rumble's on there, but obviously Rumble not a small cap gapper, as Jackie would say, not yet. CELZ, low vol, DXF, below VWAP, KOPN trying to curl, but failed VWAP. AEHR, far too expensive. NIQ, not a small cap gapper, but it's into the high at 1591, up 36%, almost 4.7 billion. Market cap on the day, very sideways ever since getting above, I want to say that 1550, but stair-stepping up, so not a bad look. Continuing down here, BISP, or BSP, excuse me, definitely not a small cap gapper. Bending Spoon's really interesting company, guys. They were on with Morgan Brennan in a morning call, I think a couple of days ago. Very interesting company if you guys want to read about that. C-Cup is back, but it's not tradable, as it just lost the volume weighted average price, 188 high, 175 trading right now. Yeah, it looks like, the best of the bunch are towards the top end of the scanner, but the top end of the scanner has the names that I don't really want to trade. So we shall look for more. And as always, guys, if there are any small cap gappers I haven't mentioned, please tag me or Joe. Let us know what's going on. Trade like I play CSGO. I like that. I guess you play first-person shooter, spray and pray, right? Do you camp, though? Right? Like, are you a camper? Not like I really understand a lot of the gaming lingo, but there's a couple of things that I know, man. I haven't gamed in a minute. New to investing. He dropped 10 nice ones in the chat, Joey, but no comment.
No comment, because he's new.
Because he's new. Well, we're going to thank him anyway. Oh, he did?
He did.
ONDAS, ONDS. Can you take a look? You want to look at your ONDS for your friend?
Absolutely.
Our friend, our new friend.
Our friend, he's new to trading.
He's
Our new friend, we should say. T10X here. We got our eyes on this one. There's a couple of names that are forming this bull flag. I had another one drawn up. We're going to pull up ONDS here momentarily. Was it MTEN? Who mentioned that bad boy? STON. There were so many along the lines there. Here's another one that broke through 18 bucks, a little bit more expensive for these small cap names. But let's go head over to your ONDS, ONDAS Holdings. Let's see what we got going on with this bad boy. ONDAS Inc., I should say. What do I think about this name? Now, I could tell you I'm not overly familiar with what they do. So defense, security, critical infrastructure technology company through its business units, ONDAS, autonomous systems. Okay, so hey, I like the sound of this one. Do we trade it typically? No. I remember when it was really in play and it went on a pretty big run. Now, if you think you're at value at this point, it did appreciate like quite substantially. So you go from 50 cents of May of 25. What the heck? All the way to $15? That's crazy.
What the hell is even that?
That's a great question.
On that one, man. So, like, big time move. And hey, at this point, if it breaks 656, then maybe look to avoid it. But at this point, if you continue on this path, who knows, maybe you head back towards this $15 mark at the all-time high. It's not going to happen in a couple of days. You can see we're on the weekly and how many weeks it took to establish new all-time highs, pull back, hold these levels. But this could be some good stopping volume, and then maybe we can ignite and break through the supply zone and head a little bit higher into that $12 marker. So it's not looking absolutely horrible, that's for sure, on ONDS. Just typically not an intraday trader. All right. Now, as for the large caps, guys, nothing going on there. It's a chop fest. I will just get rinsed if I continuously focus on some of these names. So I'm not going to for now until we have some volatility, or maybe into the latter half. Right now, it's the momentum style on QMCO. QMCO might get going a little bit. We'll keep our eyes on the tape with this bad boy. Trend line officially broken. And then now you have a 1 minute candle on the back side of it. You want to see that momentum and the volume really start to pick up. And there's another name. Hertz was doing the exact same thing. Lower end of the range to increase your risk to reward is extremely important. Not going to be buying the breakout, especially you've had multiple legs to the top side. WXM, was that another name? No, it wasn't. AIHS. There's so many of them, it's hard to remember which ones you did some TA on. But anyways, aside from that, MSGY, not looking horrible. $5.87 is that previous pivot high. If things start to turn around, momentum picks up, you see the increase in volume, and you have that next wave of participants step in, I'm looking to get involved in some of these small caps.
All right, man. There's a new one here. It's not strictly a small cap, right? 2.32 billion NN, dancing with 17, beelining into that 17 area, taking really small share size because we're getting in at the top, and it's always a kind of a precarious situation when you do get in at the top there. But I want to mention MSGY has been holding VWAP here for a while. So right around 4.5, not exactly a glowing endorsement to get in because it's an unbroken downtrend. So continuing to watch that. Also continuing to watch PLAG. This one's been halted since 11:52. So it's almost 10 minutes or so since we've been halted at that on that one. So be careful with MSGY. If it loses VWAP, it doesn't have support until about $4. So we're going to keep an eye here on NN as it dances with 17, a little above, a little bit below. It's not up big, but it is beelining into that $17 area. I wonder if it beelines into 20. So let's give this one the old college try. As we hang out here, we're going to send you up to Sia with happening now. Neil is off today, as you guys know, because Joey was filling in for him. So no Neil's lesson of the day. We'll be back shortly.
I would have sent it to him. Thank you for reminding me, Cherif. I would have definitely just sent it over while I know there's no one sitting in that chair. The SPY currently down 0.13%. You have the triple Qs that is down 0.24%, and the Dow down a little bit. Nothing too crazy happening here. Let's take a look at two tickers that I do want to talk to you about. First of all, Under Armour. Barclays has downgraded Under Armour to underweight just a couple minutes ago. Analysts also cited 3 reasons for this downgrade that include market share loss from higher competition within the athletic apparel and footwear market. Second being the company's lack of brand pricing power to offset tariff as well as input costs pressures, and finally the slower turnaround because of lower and long product lead times. So the company said, Barclays has said, that it prefers brands with quote-unquote increased pricing power and has given examples and stated names such as Ralph Lauren, Dick's Sporting Goods, and Deckers Outdoor Corporation. Let's also take a look here at Airbnb. So Phillip Capital has downgraded Airbnb today after its recent earnings beat that pushed shares higher. Firm is also currently Airbnb is almost flat on the day, but the firm had also raised its price target to $158, which is just roughly a 14% downside from Monday's close. Analyst Paul Chu has said, and I quote, while Airbnb should see revenue and profit after tax in minority interests, PATMI move higher in the second half of the year. The stock has gotten expensive. Airbnb currently flat on the day.
Thank you very much for that. Joey, you looking at anything?
Yeah, I got HTZ on my mind here. Let's see if this breakout's going to happen. We're at the lower end of the range, 254, now printing 259s. We'll keep our eyes on this bad boy. We talked about the large cap game right now starting to cool down. AMD really starting to bleed, and you can see that the NASDAQ is almost at the low of the day. We went over some of the financials as well, too. I mean, nothing crazy from an appreciation standpoint, but it's something, and something is better than nothing at times, and we'll take that. JPM, slightly positive, 0.33%. Citi, 0.5%. MasterCard, 0.5% as well, to Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs, slightly red here today, Cherif.
All right, VinFast reported strong Q2 momentum. They delivered more than 70,000 EVs globally. That is up 96% year over year. And the first half deliveries, they reached nearly 129,000. That's also up 78% year over year. And it reinforces the company's growth trajectory across its expanding EV portfolio. And by mid-year, guys, VinFast had already achieved approximately 43% of both its 2026 4W and 2W delivery targets. And that puts the company firmly, Joseph, on track on both growth engines. Good look for VinFast, guys, at a time where, growing deliveries is a hard row to hoe here on some of these EVs. Just ask Lucid how they're doing with that. Just ask Polestar how they're doing with that. So the fact that VinFast is able to grow their deliveries right now, like them or not, Vietnamese or not, that is an anomaly in this game at the moment. So good look there. And there goes double N, into 733s. We've got 09s. We've taken out half the position over here. It's a wide spread. Right now, it's respectable at 5 pennies. I've seen it as wide as almost 19. 19, exactly. Why? I don't know. I hedged, saying almost 19. We've taken out all my prints, but we're still holding some sharage over here. And we're looking for more, man. Now, whether or not this drops into 17, to test support, we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to wait at 43s, showing me 33s right now, looking for a little bit more. I'm thinking $0.50 on this monster, right? Now, initially, my stop was at 88s, 1688 that is. But I think now, having ascended in the way that NN has done, it behooves me to move up my stop to defend the whole dollar level. Now, I'm not going to put it right at 17, nor 1 or 2 pennies. When I say whole dollar level, I mean like 5 or 6 pennies away. And where you place the stop should be directly correlated to the spread on the ticker. And clearly, right? Because if you get caught on a spready dip down because the spread is like 6, 7 pennies and you've only given it a buffer of 5 from the support level, you're going to get clipped on that and you're going to feel a little annoyed because you're not going to get the fill. And there it goes. Options, man, into 43, ramping up. Hertz is breaking out, Joseph. Hertz is taking out high a day. And there goes NN into another area high. Give me my money. We're looking for 18s now on NN, Joey. Good breakout here. Guys, watch out for the turn back here, though, on NN. There is no red candles at all on my 5-minute chart. I mean, this is a recipe for things to turn around. Look at this. Nary a green candle. Sure, there were red candle, there were plenty of red candles over here, but that's not where we were doing the move. The move came in at 11.25, and I don't know why, and I don't care, okay? We'll talk about the big boy news, but when it comes to these small caps, I care very little. Options, man.
All right, yeah, I was having some chat with somebody. With that being said, I missed this Hertz play. Man, nice breakout on this one, man. That was a really, really, really good play. Volume steps in. Look, this is what we want to see when we're talking about breakouts, ladies and gentlemen. You want to see the volume supporting it. If you're like, oh, hey, we're breaking out, but there's no volume, watch for a fade. Now, as for some of these other names, PLAG, this thing is going absolutely nuts. It's halted all the way at these highs, $3.85, but it can't stay open for very long before it hits that halt band. So keep an eye out on that one. Cherif doesn't like that one. FRTT, Sigel, what's going on with this one? Ooh, this one might get going. Sigel over here, Cherif. We don't want any Siggies around these neck of the woods. So 69
Bro,
cents.
Know my biggest pet peeve?
What's that?
Coming out of the morning, Joe.
And just getting a fresh
like 6:30 a.m. Like, can I just go an hour after waking up without inhaling all the cigarette smoke? Like, give me a break,
Come on,
bro.
Like,
no,
give him a break
man.
over there. He doesn't want
so
to do
annoying,
that.
dude.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, it would be a different story if it smelled good. It doesn't smell good, like the other stuff that you can ignite there. I genuinely think it smells good. Anyways, I hear it, but to
Get
each
it,
their own,
Joey.
right? So here's 10x. 10x here. I'm looking for the 10x on this trade, Cherif, but
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
volume. Yeah. There's no volume on the yeah over here on 10x.
We're printing, Joey.
So, man, I mean, there's nothing really going on for me right now.
Someone should give Cherif a Kit Kat. I'm supposed to have my food right now, but your friend Neil isn't here.
Yeah, he's
so I'm unable to have my food, Randy. We're gonna have to weasel it over
I've
there.
seen the lunch. What is it?
There goes NN into 69. Ozan, we took it at 69, so NN is Rip City. Rip City. Guys, this is got no red candles. This has got to be a short squeeze here because there's no red candles on the 5. There's none. Again, from the breakout time, which is 11:25, and here comes 18. And I thought, like, okay, I'm getting in at 17. I'm getting in at the high. You know, this is trouble. Take it easy with the smaller position. All right, I made that mistake because this is absolutely ripping to the high side. It's not a big, it's 15%, but it's a clear, steady state, higher high, higher low. Here comes the high of the day again. 78 it is. 76 now showing up on the tape, Assassino, and this could absolutely rip up into 18 sooner rather than later. 69 pays, baby. Get it, Ozan. Shout out to my man, Andre. Another one, NIQ. I put NIQ on the side chart. We're going to get to that one in a second, but I want to see if there's going to be a dip trade here to be had at 1750 on NN. The spread opening up pretty wide, 45 on the bid, 53 on the ask. That's not what I'm looking for here, but what I'm looking for is a general hold of the $0.50. So I want to watch here as this one continues to develop its price action and the ticker there. Nope, it's not holding the $0.50, at least not yet. Okay, now moving back a little bit above the $0.50, seeing if we can possibly get in here, but yeah, let's see here. We give this one maybe like half the position that I took originally, right? We'll take that, and then maybe we can give it to 40. Let me flip to the 5-second chart on this one so I can see where the buyers did step in. So they stepped in at 47s, 42s. Yeah, no, I don't think we're done selling off quite yet because we keep dipping below the $0.50 level on both the bid and the ask, and there it goes, flashing 30s. That ain't for me at the moment. So tap on PLAG, brother. We're not going to know the tap. Gamecraft Nico, I explained that. I'll explain it again. The only time you will get a tap, a theoretical auction price, is if the ticker is on the NQ. You will not get one on the .AM, which is the Amex. You're not going to get one on the NYSE. So that is part and parcel of trading small caps off the NASDAQ. You're going to have to deal with that, right? And that's why I always say flying blind. That's kind of what I mean by that. All right, we're right back above here on NN, above the $0.50. And if I start seeing 60s on the ask, let alone on the bid or the ask, I'm going to punch back in. Here we go. All right, let's see if we can kind of give this a little room. All right, let's go ahead, post some orders on this monster. And then we're going to save a piece for above 18. But where do I stop out at? I'm going to have to stop out below the 40 penny area. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I have to give it lots of room lest this turn against me. So waiting here for a price spike up, looking for 69 Zozan as the first level, 68 showing up here, but the spread is opening up. And as a result, even if the ask goes into 69, I won't get the print. So we're looking for a hold up here, looking for support generally at the $0.50. There's 68 again, looking for a bigger move up into the 70s to get that print. We're not getting it. So that sucks. Continuing to watch. Ozan, what's up the tap? Explain again, please. Shut up, Ozan. I hate you. Could you give your thoughts on SoFi intraday? Nick, can you ask me that in maybe like half an hour when things just do calm down a little bit? Because right now we're kind of in the middle of small cap trading and the small caps are a little bit all over. But tag me again in about half an hour, Nick, when things do calm down a little bit. And of course, I'll give you my opinion on that. PLAG open. Let's see what this one does. Here we go, options, man. It looks like there's some selling here at 52, which is the area high. There we go. That's going to be a limit up, possibly at 52. Let's see what we get there. We'll post at 58, but that won't obviously fill. We're going to give this one a try. It's probably going to false halt 3 times before it actually halts, seeing as how this one has traded. Okay, I was wrong. It halted up again this time to the high side, 520% options, man. Off that 3.25 now, just above the $0.50 actually. How we doing over here? Okay, there goes NN, taking out 69 for me. 77's next, showing 77 now. Boom! Into the high on NN. All right, now we're looking for more like 18. We're gonna go 1798. We're looking for that 18 touch and pop. It's a 1783 high a day, so we're gonna have to breach the high of the day in order to get that print. Nothing changes with respect to my stop though options, man.
All right, man, good stuff. So it's definitely been a little bit tougher of a look here on SpaceX. Now you're down 4% on the intraday session, and then you just have this massive volume spike where you take that leg lower. So what it did was just trap a bunch of the bulls, and then boom, you have that massive seller step in, offloading a bunch of shares, heading towards. And the way this price action is really starting to curl over, I'd be cautious. Watch out for a new low of the day, sub 132.65 incoming on SPCX. All right, so just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as for the small cap names, Ozan, would you say there, Gaurav, on this one? No, I don't think you missed anything. It's just a volume spike, right? You consolidate for so long, and then sure enough, you're just gonna head. You have some large participants step in, offload a bunch of shares, and then now you're just continuing its momentum to the southeast. With that being said, what I can do is SSPC. Oh my God, why aren't I trading the SQQs sometimes on this? I don't know why I don't do that. I used to trade the SQQs quite often, to be honest with you, because don't forget, I started in 2022, right? So I started right at the peak of a bear market when I started day trading full time. So yeah, definitely interesting stuff. Maybe we try a little scalpy here on this bad boy. Yeah, it is gonna happen. So we'll go relatively small on this one. Look for that low of the day break on SPCX, sorry, I should say, via SSPC, the inverse ETF on this bad boy. Why don't I trade the SQQs? Ozan, I can't answer a question that I just clearly tried to myself, and I don't know the answer. No, honestly, being sarcastic, I definitely should. I'll keep my eyes on it. So there we go. We go for the low of the day break, and it comes back instantly against us. So yeah, I mean, good times on that one. We'll hold off a little bit just in case it's somewhat of a breath in the underlying asset. But what we do have is USO up about 0.8%. We're talking about this 35 level holding up. We're at 126.91 right now. All right. Netflix yesterday, referring to its digital ad revenue doubling in the fiscal year. Bang. What happened to Netflix here today? 75.24. And I was telling Gaurav, I'm all out of that bad boy via my long-term portfolio. All right. I'm not dealing with Netflix. There's so many other trades that I want to put on. And once again, listen, this is me personally. Okay. And I tell you guys this all the time. I've had greater success with concentration risk opposed to being diversified. Now, there's the risk to that, obviously. And that's me personally. There it goes, SSPC. We'll take it for what it is. But that's just what I want to get involved with. Just considering we're having this massive infrastructure build out, whether it's a bubble or not, a lot of people referring to it as that. I beg to differ, and I'm going to take an opposing view, which is totally fine. But other than that, guys, it's just me doing the due diligence and just trying to stick with the best names. And I was telling Gaurav some of my holdings. Let's send things off to Sia with Small Cap Recap.
The Russell is currently down 0.5%. Let's take a look at two individual tickers here. You have UWMC, that's UWM Holdings, currently up almost 5% on the day. The company has sued Two Harbors Investment Corp, that is TWO ticker, on the stock market in federal court as of yesterday. It's seeking more than $500 million after a failed acquisition has left the company, that is UWMC, with a $603 million loss that is tied to interest rate hedges. Let's take a look at ACHR as well, Archer Aviation. So this company reported its earnings as of yesterday. Stock is soaring above 10.5%, but this is also soaring on the news that it's maintained with an $11 per share price target by Cantor Fitzgerald, and also the stock is soaring on the company's agreement to acquire the Boeing companies, that is BA's Whisk Aero, Instu, and Skygrid subsidiaries. Currently, ACHR is up, well, close to 11.5% on the day, and you have UWMC that's up almost 5%.
When you talk about, yeah, thank you. So yeah, when you're talking about Commodity Kings, it's not called Uptober for no reason.
Oh, you want me to hit it?
Hit it.
I got it, baby.
Hit it. Uptober.
It was funny because Fabian made me that animation because I asked for up to. Don't look at my eggs, bro.
I'm not, bro. You don't think I want them, my guy?
He's looking.
Oh,
at my eggs.
what's that?
You know we're carbon up.
Oh,
now, Joey.
carbon up, man.
Having a good time. So Fabian made me that animation, right? And then the actual October that we made it for ended up being one of the worst, right? Thankfully, the next year after that, we did have the October, but it was good. And Joey.
Yeah.
There goes NN. I saw you Case trading NN in the chat. I saw you Case. All right, here we go. We got it. Yeah, she's in the house, my boy. Bovin's on the way, guys. By the way, everybody freaking out that Bovin isn't here. He's on the way. He's going to be here at about 20 after 1. He's coming in from work today. So shout out to my man Bovin.
Yeah, let the bro work.
He's got to make the money. You're not trading, Case?
All right.
Why? What happened, Case? You're taking the day off? You're chilling out?
She's chilling in the
Relaxing,
G-Wagon.
maxing. Yeah, she's got the G-Wagon.
She does have the G-Wagon.
Don't forget the 750 or the 760 Li that she had before that.
So,
Right?
so what do you? How do you drive both of them at the same time, Case? Like you just.
That's how
go
she trades. She trades multiple small caps at the same time.
No, I'm saying you can't drive both cars at
Who
the same
knows?
time. So what do you do? Drive 5 meters down the road, hop out, grab the other one, leapfrog it, hop out.
FSD.
FSD.
Randy. Get it, Randy.
But do you have to be in the vehicle? You might have to be in the vehicle.
Yeah, but you got to see what some of these Chinese guys are doing.
What are
with
they doing?
FSD, man. They're putting these little I don't know. They're kind of like action figures.
Yeah.
And they're tricking the camera that's supposed to be watching you to make sure that
Oh,
you're
as
paid.
that.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's
You gotta
stuff
see what
out.
people
That's
are
stuff
doing,
I'd be
man.
doing, man.
You got to see what people are doing. Fantastic stuff. All right, guys, we're in PLAG. We're long here. I don't know how this is gonna go, man. You know, I'm in small share size here because, well, I haven't traded it well. So we're gonna keep an eye out on this one. We did pretty well here. In fact, quite well here on HTZ. In at 17, added at 1750, and there goes 18 into the high of the day. 1817, 1819 now. NN is on its horse. Guys, we could see 20 here, okay? This is got one red candle in a sea of green on the 5. I'll submit to you from 1120 onwards, there is one red candle and it's a bottoming tail, very small body red candle. That's the 1210 bar on the 5. Everything else has been green. This feels like it's a short squeeze to me. I just wonder what the short float is on NN. I don't have that information, but we'll get that to you sooner rather than later. NN, the ticker, up 17.75%. Still waiting here on a resumption on PLAG. I just wanted to mention, we will not know what the theoretical auction price is on PLAG as a result of trading on the MX. So that is that's the situation. And I should have been adding more into NN. Because look at this, Joey. You want something here, bro?
Yeah.
Look at this, bro.
Send it over.
NN. That's it.
So I've seen
NN.
someone-
Like no.
No.
Right? It is Rip City. Rip City.
now.
1842 options, man. This one's really going right now. I think really we have a shot here at 20 bucks. If there is a higher short float, I'll discover that in a second, and I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, Commodity King. No, trust me, brother. You know, you always give me good shout-outs and everything along those lines. I just figured because you're typing to me in all caps, that you were yelling at me, and I'm like, geez, man, it's not that personal. Yeah, it's right. SSPC, let's take a little bit off the table, man. We're going to get in trouble using that one too much. I told you guys I have a limit on the stream deck. I can only hit it so many times in a day. But anyways, obviously being sarcastic. Listen, KC526. We take a little bit off here on SSPC. And Cherif mentioned that one. We're up only 18% on this bad boy so far.
But it's a beeline.
But it is a beeline. It's beelining straight to the north side. 1826 strong. Listen, if you want to talk about buy programs, this is one of them on NN. All right, here we go, Casey. What do you got going on for us here today, girl? Biggest day of 2026. Since Neil isn't there, lesson of the day. Stick to your rules. No revenge trading. I'm in trader rehab for a bit, sending you all positive vibes and prints. stay safe. Yeah,
Yeah, she's still super chatted.
she's still super chatted.
Super
Yeah, I
chatted.
know, man.
So
That's
it shows you what
crazy.
kind of person she is. bro.
Massive character. Massive.
There you go, Case.
Oh.
He's not far away, man. There's my man.
Yeah. He's just around the corner. To be annoying, I don't know. He's at home relaxing.
Yeah.
By the pool. But anyways, aside from that, yeah, Casey, don't relapse or anything. If you're gonna call it a day, just call it a day and go enjoy some of the NYC weather. I don't know if the Yankees are playing this evening or anything along those lines, but go for a nice little heel toe express and take a walk. That's what I like to do, especially after I eat lunch. I like to go for a little gander around. I walk down to Dundas Square for those who aren't familiar with it, and then all the way back up, put in a nice little 3 kilometers, clear the mind and everything along those lines. All right, so here's the SSPC. We're still looking at NNE. I don't know why I named it. But anyways, this is looking pretty good, right? So these pullbacks are extremely micro. So if we do get any little bit of a dip, but what we can do is tell on the tape that it's extremely strong, because every time it dips, here it is, boom, it gets bought right back up. So let's see if we get an additional wave. Oh, there's a nice little pullback on this bad boy, Cherif. So NN is something that is most definitely on my radar, and we're doing not too bad here on SSPC.
All right, PLAG, watch out for the loss here. I'm keeping an eye on 3. Anything below 90, I'm out. I've scalped out the majority of the position into high teens, but this is super bamboozling. Now, it did stop me out originally, right? Looking for a possible add here into this level. Let's see what we get. Looking for a hold, all right? 284 limit down, buyer at 94. Watch out for the loss there, out. Looking for a little bit more. Let's see if we can buy into the weakness there. Yeah, this is just all over the map. You got to be able to hold into the down halt, and that is just not my cup of tea. I got to be honest with you there. So let's see what this one, if it gives us another attempt here at the highs. There's 3. Looking for a little bit more. Seller at 99 now. Can't even get to 3. Watch out for that out. Yeah, I don't like that. There's a seller at 99, 98. Oh, there you go. Got removed. Jeez Louise, man. This is just, yeah, I'm not trading this well. I got to be quite honest with you here. All right, back into the high 14 limit up, but 14's been limit up for a while. So here we go, dipping right back down to 3, all over the map, man. Let's add a little bit over here. Let's see if we can kind of catch that bottom. Nope, it's still defending 3. So just watching here, it's all over the map, guys. 11s, I got to get a better cost basis. That's the thing. If I can get a better cost basis on this, it can give me some buffer, a buffer between the limit prices, which is super tight for whatever reason. So watching here, there's the bump up. See if we can kind of, there, nice. Okay, good. See if we post up some at 7s. It's not halting. This is, I guess, like the longest it's gone unhalted. I don't know. 90, 86, 84 limit down. There it is. You're going to get caught in the limit down again, it feels like here. Continuing to watch. Let's see if we can pick up some here for a move back above the level. Let's see if we can get above 3. It's been tough trading here at 3 lately. So there's a limit down again, but buyers are defending at 84s. Even if we get into the halt parameter, my observation has been that it just ends up popping back up. But we don't have the buyers this time around. It doesn't feel like look how it's just unable to get above 3. Right, 94, 99s. I did see it pop up into 303. There's 99s again. So aggressive short selling into the $3 area or profit taking. Yeah, and that's the thing. Now they're stair stepping down. 96s, 98s, right? Where the selling is coming in, not at 3s. There's 3, 303. Look at the bid. It doesn't move above 3. 303 on the ask, but the bid wasn't able to move. So yeah, we've got 01s, but that's like, you know, that's what's the point in that? We need a bigger move above 3. We got a double bottom currently, I think at 84, but that's because that's where limit down is. It's not because there is an aggressive, well, there is an aggressive buyer there. There we go, 04 showing up. No continuation into the high 3s though, Joe. So this is a tough one here. So let me just send it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Gaurav, I do believe that we have a 1-minute signal that we will like here, still giving us a good opportunity to get in. Increased volume. This is going to be the largest print since 11:35, so about an hour ago. Nice indecision print off those lows. He's also looking at the 5-minute print. After this downtrend, we had the exact same pattern here on NVDA, so we're going to be looking to increase that. Where is our out? Someone said, learning from Joe and Cherif about risk to reward. Absolute beautiful stuff. We get out at the low of the day, 1-minute candle break here, and then sure enough, our target is going to be the volume weighted average price. So where's our risk reward? About a 2.5 or a 3 to 1 here, especially when you stick to your out. Let's wait for price action to turn around. The issue being is that a lot of these larger participants, and I pound the table about this one, shout out to Dan Ives, I forget what his new firm is called there, but here it is, not Wedbush, Dan Ives, the other one there, Google. You see all these names going to the downside, SpaceX, ooh, Apple sliding, that's not gonna help our thesis whatsoever. SpaceX down almost 5% here today. And then Microsoft, I don't know why I said it like that, but Meta, here it is. One thing, something that was hot, now not, but I might look for some form of continuation in this name via FBL. Hot, super hot fire today, and then now starting to form a print that I may like, but let's send things off to see ya.
The SPY is currently down 0.17%. Let's take a look at the sectors here. You have electric tech, Nvidia, and Apple flatness right off the bat, but then you have Broadcom, MU, AMD that are sliding a bit towards the red. Intel, GE, RTX, Qualcomm also a bit flat on the day. Just as I said that, Apple has turned red. Cisco down 1.7%, but you have names like SNDK, KLAC that are up, soaring over 3% on the day. ANET up close to 2%. Let's take a look. Tech services. Google down 2%, whereas Microsoft is down 1%, but Meta seems to be, very definitely in the green, up 1.5% and over. Oracle down 4.3%, and Palantir is down 8%. Netflix down almost 2% on the day, with PA&W that could be considered flat, but is down, tilting closed to 1%. CRWD also down 1.5%, and IBM is up exactly 8%. However, you have names like DDOG that is down 4% on the day, and APP that's down 5% on the day. Finance, you have a bit of bearishness in names like BRKB that's down 1.6%, and WELL that's down 2.7% on the day. But then you have names like APO that's up 6%. Visa is up almost 0.60%, but you have a bit of flattishness and I would say a mixed sentiment across that particular sector in finance. JPM, MA, GS, MS, BAC, WFC all flat on the day. Retail trading of Amazon down 2.2%. Walmart is flat. Costco is down 1%. And Home Depot is up close to 2%. TJX down 1.3%. And finally, you have LOW that's up 1.7%. And CVNA that's down 3.14%. Producer manufacturing, bit of a strong sector here. LRCX, GEV, AMET, CAT, all up on the day in the green, and you have ETN that's up 3.2%, as well as GNRC in the sector that's up over 4.2%. Consumer non-durables, process industries, transportation, commercial, as well as non-energy. Mixed bag of stocks here, a lot of mixed sentiment across these four sectors, but I'm going to take a look at health tech here. We do have a story later in the news segment with Lilly that we are going to be talking about, and Novo Nordisk. So Lilly is currently down 1% almost, and J&J down 1% as well, whereas ABBV is flat. MRK as well as Amgen tilting towards the red, but then you have a name that I want to mention, BSX, that's up 1.7%. And energy minerals, we have XOM that's flat, CVX that's a bit towards the green, names like PSX up 3% on the day. Consumer durables, Tesla is trading flat right now, and you have names like GM up 1.5%, Ford up close to 1%, HAS that's up over 3%, and that's all for your sector watch.
Oh no, you caught me mid-eating. Could you maybe look at another sector? She didn't get it. All right. We're caught in a down halt. PLAG. Halted. What do you guys want from me, man? I got to eat. PLAG halted 284. Halt time 12:28.56. So I'm 5 pennies out of the money. This isn't good because it's on a downtrend now. So let's see how this ends up going, man. But NN I don't think is done. Here it comes again. Defending 18 generally. Still 1842 is the high. See if this one's got the juice to hold 18 and possibly take out that 18.5. We got a couple of bottoming tail candles into 18. So yeah, I don't mind giving it. Well, that's the problem though. It's like we have that 18 defend, but all those candles just have like lower lows. So I'm feeling maybe the shorts are in right now. Let's keep an eye out on this one. I just want to see where they're selling at. So I saw 22s there. So current bar high is 27s on NN. Dipping down a little bit into 18. Current bar low, by the way, which is a lower low than the prior bar, 1791. So if you're going to get in here, yeah, you'd have to give it to current bar low. You don't have to, but my suggestion is Medical Meatball. Where do we send flowers and get well teddy bears to Neil? Oh. Here, brother.
Yeah, here.
We send it to the office over here. Just watching. Sorry. Oh, MSGY. Yeah, I don't want to trade that one. It's losing the volume weighted average price. It's at 421. VWAP on MSGY is substantially higher at 450. So I did trade that one earlier. It was a tough trade. Watch out for that. I don't want to trade MSGY, but it does have support between 375 to 4. Thank you very much for that. Canadian. His name is Canadian, Joey.
I like
All right. Current bar high is 27s, as I mentioned. I want to see if we can print anything above 27 on the bid. If we can, I'll probably work into this guy for a possible take of the $0.50. 1842 is the high. So that's what I'm looking at there. PLAG. Random guy. PLAG, do you see resumption, brother? No. I answered you in the chat. I said this before, but I'll say it again, no problem, because not everybody is always with us. So anything on the MX exchange, which this one is, you'll always be able to tell by the ticker, by the call sign right there, .am, or the NY. So MX and New York, you won't see the tap only on the NASDAQ. So keep that in mind when you're trading these ones. We will have to fly blind, sadly. So that's what I'm keeping an eye out for here. NN, definitely looking for a break of 27 on the bid. If I get that, Joe, I'm going long.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, Gorb, there we go, my guy. Here we go again. As the Nasdaq starting to, I'll never do that again, I promise. TQ's here, guys. We'll see. We'll let Cherif do his thing. We won't call him out or anything, but a nice little pop-up.
You missed the whole thing.
What happened?
You were gone. Sia was doing the sector watch.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to, because that's like the longest segment she does, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying to get in a couple of eggs over there, Joey, but
get the pro
she finished, and then I was mid-eat.
Oh, yeah. Mouthful.
Did you just say it's the longest segment I do?
Yeah. Is that a bad thing?
No.
Okay. Thank you for just double checking on that.
All right. Yeah, where do we go from here now? I don't know. I kind of just ran into a little bit of a roadblock. 73.15s. Gorb, this is what we're talking about, my brother, man. A nice little pop as SSPC is starting to come back in. This is the largest position of the day, right off the low, 73 flat. Nice little rebound on that one. NVDA starting to find its road to recovery. So let's go is correct. Now, do we wait for 73.20? Where's that next structure, which I believe we're currently sitting at right now? If we reject this too aggressively, Gore, we might be in a little bit of trouble, but I know you're good at, you got patient hands. We're going to allow this one to work out for us, but you can see there's clearly a support zone right here, but we're punching through it right now. Would like to see some more upticks in volume, and this name is definitely help us drag the overall market a little bit higher. So let's see if let's see if we can extract some more, Cherif, as you would like to say. Bang, we'll take some off right there on the T-triple Qs, not the teachable Qs there. Blicky Spears, as you say, man, your Canadian accent gets me all the time. Well, I'm apologize for that one. I don't really, but anyways, aside from that, Google starting to find its rebound. Let's see if we can head up into 73.30. This one's looking pretty good, and then we also have SSPC on. So short SpaceX synthetically, and then also long the NASDAQ around the lows. So not too bad of a little move right there, my brother.
All right, man. We're still waiting for resumption on PLAG. I saw 27s get taken out momentarily on the bid on NN. Let's give this one a try. 1842 high. We've got higher lows and higher highs on this current bar, but the bar just opened. The high of this bar is 36. The high of the day, of course, is 42. So keeping tabs on that. Waiting for resumption on PLAG. This could be trouble here. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly how that cookie ends up crumbling. But looking for an interesting move, at least into the $0.50 here on PLAG, which we're certainly not getting, at least not yet. So I will stop out in the mid-teens because I won't be able to give this that much room. Here we go. 37 is now showing up, looking for a big move here into 50. There we go, 37s, looking for a little bit more. High days 42. Let's see if the bid can move up above 40. We're not getting that quite yet. 38's now showing up. So yeah, just packing the patience on this one. Let's see if we can get a 40 print. The bid, oh sorry, the time in sale is super slow on this one. To be kind of expected, right? It's only up 19%. Okay, PLAG is open, limit up we go. Not quite yet. Let's take out some here. We're in the money on this one, or are we? Here we go. Take out a little bit more on PLAG. It's basically right at my level. I just got to get out of this, dude. If it pops up, I'm just going to get out. Yep, out. I don't want to expend mental capital on this, especially if it's going to go against me. So we'll focus here on NN. What are you looking at, Joey?
Same thing here, man. We're getting this rocking and rolling. Let's see if we can break through this 73.20 zone. If we do, I may as well post up at 25s maybe. That'd be a big time move. Thank you, sir. Low key, it's funny, but I keep having a lower vol. Yeah, we're but it's not saying that, but I can see where you're getting at there. NVDA getting the rebound. Now I know why Neil's out. Did you hear that one? Just wrecked that elbow off of the table, celebrating. I remember one time I scored this wicked goal in hockey, and I was like, yeah, whoa, yeah. And then you know the first thing my grandpa said after to me, he's like, yeah, Joe, it's a beautiful goal, but act like you've done it before. And I'm like, man, come on. And what did I do? I scored again. I'm like, yeah, yeah. Can't slow this train down. But anyways, aside from that meta, guys, let's see if we can get this ball rolling. It doesn't want to turn around at this point, right? So 1 minute time frame. I don't know why I have a dual 1 minute. I would love to see a nice recovery in the NASDAQ back towards the volume weighted average price. But I'm going to be honest, Gorev. I think that it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for us to get that far, that deep of a pullback, to be honest with you. If the same doesn't want to recover, you can see how weak the price action here is. Every time it pops up, it just sells off immediately. And then, oh man, we should have took some more off here at the highs, man. Oh man, there it goes. See, this is what I'm talking about. This could be a fake out. If the volume upticks, then we might be in trouble, but we'll be patient. Can you look at TLRY? Yeah, absolutely. We can look at TLRY. I can tell you a little bit about Aurora Cannabis. I have a story for you about that one, for those who know. Anyways, aside from that, not the most liquid thing. How is the weed game? MSOS, I believe, is one of the ETFs on that, but TLRY, $23. It definitely reverse split at some point. Yeah, it did here. So it's an absolute disastrous run. If you ask me, I don't know if the marijuana craze is over, but it's definitely been a while since it's really been in play. And what we've seen in the Canopy Growth Corps, the Afrias, the Aurora Cannabis, all those names that I once owned and no longer, actually I still own one of them that is absolutely disastrous, down 99.9%. So I officially can't lose anymore on that position. $3.70. I'm not in love with what we got going on in the weed space, to be honest with you. I think there's so much, man, and I pound the table about this all the time. It's like, hey, yeah, I understand that there's a lot of volatility in the tech trade, and we cover it quite a bit, but just what's going on with the AI build-out and the use of these tools, I think I'm just going to remain with my focus elsewhere, and it's not going to be in the ons of the world or the Lululemons, the Nikes, and the TLRYs. It's just, hey, tech is forever growing and expanding, and that's where I want to park some of my money. Don't forget that. Trend is down and dangerously slow. Why go long the TQs? Well, there's multiple signals displaying themselves that said, hey, we might have a little bit of a turnaround in price, and it was exactly so. So we posted up at those lows, and that's why, like, think about how precise this entry is. You post, and it barely heads towards, like, I wasn't even sitting in my seat when this position got filled. And this could just be a dark pool wick, but you can see that it never really breaks below our entry price, and then off to the races it goes to the tune of 20 cents. So, hey, not too bad of a look. That's why, and that's what I was mentioning not too long ago before we sent it over to the desk, is we may get a pullback, but the question being, how deep is this pullback going to be? And what I'm seeing so far is that it's going to be extremely shallow. Let's send it over there.
Let's take a look at the money markets. Here's the USD JPY pair over here that is not currently doing that much, but it is trading around the 159 range right now. Let's take a look at USD INR as well. The Indian rupee trading around 95.4 to be precise. It's up 1.14. So Indian rupee had slipped to its, however, weakest level as of today, Tuesday trading day in nearly 2 weeks, because oil prices had jumped on fading hopes of the US-Iran deal to end the war to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Let's check DXY levels here as well. Currently around the $98.8 mark. That's almost, well, it is flat on the day, holding steady ahead of tomorrow's more anticipated consumer inflation report for July, which can potentially shape near-term expectations for the Fed Reserve policies. With that, you have the DXY flat on the day, the Indian rupee a little bit lower, inching a little bit lower to its lower level, but trading up 0.14% right now, and the JPY also flat.
All right, yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. So look how deep this pullback is. We get that move, we only remove about 20% of the position, 25% of the position, I should say, and then now the majority of the unrealized gains are now evaporated off of this pullback. So yeah, we are downtrending. It's a fantastic question. Like, why am I going long against the trend? And that's what I was stating to Gaurav. Look at this. It's clearly a downtrend in a channel sell program, but there are some risk to reward ratios where, I mean, we're at the low of the day. If it cracks, then you get out. But then we also have the opportunity and the chance, the probability, I should say, of us heading back in towards the volume weighted average price.
All right, man. We're still holding NN. It's still generally holding trend, but it's having a lot of trouble taking out the 2/3 of a dollar. We've got a couple of profit takers there through the high, but it's not really showing me a positive trend at the moment. More lower lows and lower highs than anything in the opposite. So continuing to watch here, the bid does step in right around the 1/5 to 1/4 of a dollar. So see how this one goes, dipping in a little bit now. I feel like I need to give it to 18. I haven't. My stop is a little bit higher than 18, but just given the proximity to the whole dollar, you feel like this one, you should give to 18. Here comes 18 as well. So now this current 5-minute trend has a lower high and a lower low. Let's see how this goes. Do the buyers step in at around 18 into 27 again? 27 has been the problem area as well because it wasn't moving north of 27 on the bid. And then it did, which is why I got in. There you go. See, into 31s and then 30 now. But there's no continuation. 33s. Nothing into the 40s though. But so this current bar does have a lower high and it's about to take out the higher high as well, 833, 832. So we have a 32 high. Let me see if there's any 33 prints coming in here. Not quite yet anyway. So this is technically a lower high and a lower low. Even though the bids do keep coming in, look at all that orange and green on the time and sales. That usually means above the bid or above the ask, excuse me, here. And the spread is tightened up to 1 penny, 34 on the bid, 33 on the ask. No continuation above that though. So the buyers are buying, but the short sellers are selling, and the buyers aren't buying enough to push these short sellers out of the way, at least at this specific level. So down we go again into 29. QMCO is breaking out though, guys. It's about a few pennies off the high of the day. So it has broken this more prolonged downtrend. Be on the lookout for that. There could be support at 18 1/4, 1880 high, but that was made earlier. I like that 18 1/4 for consolidation as well as many topping tail candles. I should make my point a little bit clearer. 18 1/4 to 18 1/3. Closing prints at the quarter. Wicks go into the third. So something to look out there. Look out for there. 37s now on the bid on NN. Looking for something in the 40s, right? 42 pennies the high. Now we're break even on the trade. I see higher lows and higher highs on the 1, but not necessarily on the 5. There's 41. So that does test the high of the day. 42, 44. Let's see. Can it take out 50? Let's go, man. We got good size on this one. There's a huge seller, 46. Looking for a little bit more, especially above 50. See if we can squeeze out some shorts, man. Let's post above 50 because I don't have much in the way above that level. And I want to post in the 60s as well. You know where I'm going to post those in. Yeah. Jeez Louise, man. That one always gets me right there. Yeah, I'll have to clear that order that I just put in because it's distorting my chart. So let's take out that last one at 19. There we go. That should fix it up. 47s. 48 is the high. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher here. I'm looking for that 50 breach and take, right? Because there it is, into 54. That is a new high a day. Looking for a little bit more now. This could see 19. 55s, that's the new high. Nothing printing for me quite yet, so we'll take off a little bit here. 56 is boom. Looking for 69, Ozan. Keeping an eye on this. I see QMCO, brother. Shout out to Jackie. I just called it out. 1880 high, showing 1863 right now, so be on the lookout for that. But it just got to focus here on NN. There's a seller of note at 55s, even though 58 is the high of the day. Let's see if we squeeze up into 19 here, Joey. Not that this matters, but I can see limit up. It's 2018. This is not going to be one of those ones where I think we're going to have to deal with halts, but it's more of a steady state, higher high, higher low, into the high. 59 showing up, 64s. Taking out most of my orders here. We got some at 69, Ozan. Now we're going to post at 75. Here we go on NN, ripping up into 73s. That's a new high a day, 73 and 69 just filled for me. Now we've got 77s waiting. So let me go ahead and wait at 80. Let's go 85. See if we can get it. Usually I wait at 88, but whatever. Now, this one could dip down pretty aggressively, but I'm happy with how this trade has resolved. Nice flat top break. You want to make the case maybe above 850. There's a new high, 83 pennies. Go and go and on its horse here. Let's see if we can get into 19. We took good size on this one into that 18 hold, but, you know, definitely wanted a bit of a better price. Not going to lie. I should have been more alive to the 18 hold there. 1884, 85 now. Looking for a little bit more. Let's take it out here. Cancel that order up top. Move it into the 90s because they're like a penny off each other. Might as well just take it here. Looking for that 19 move, Joey. But happy with the breakout here on end. Shout out to my man Blicky. Looking for... Bovin's in the house. Get it, Bovin. I told everybody you'd be here at 120. I guess I lied, Bovin. Maybe you got here earlier. So Bovin was telling me that he was all over PLAG and he was in from low single digits. If he wants to tell you where he was long from and how much he made on that, he's more than welcome to. I won't because that's his trade, not mine. But he killed it on PLAG in the exact opposite way of me, which didn't kill it on PLAG, but we're doing a lot better here on NN, and I'm looking for 19s. Let me pack the patience. 1884 high, Joey. That's my man Bovin. Now, Bovin, you're in the house. People are going to demand the booms. So you better have some good trades, Bovin. Shout out to you, my man. Bovin's in the house, baby. What are you looking at, Joey?
He's in the house, baby. I'm trying to type in some orders here. All right. So we got two posts up right now on Meta, and then also on the NASDAQ for a re-entry, Gorb. I don't know if you got in or out, but this is what I'm talking about. You get this pop, boom, we take 25% off right here, and then it comes back to our break even. Price starts to turn around once again. So what we're going to do is post up at a better price and see if we're going to catch that one. Now, Meta displaying prints that I want to see, potential downtrend break. We're going to try to look to get involved in that one via METU, $22.25 is our order. You're out of it. Okay, maybe that's a good call maybe here, Gaurav. But again, someone's like, where's the turnaround in the overall market? It doesn't necessarily need to happen, right? I mean, it's definitely been a mixed bag. Look at the Mag 7. There's only a couple of them green. Meta being one of them. NVDA, who was up almost 2% at one point, now only up 1/4%. Tesla, 1/3% here. And Broadcom, how you been performing? Down 0.8. Yeah, how you doing? And it's not doing too good, but I mean, it's better than multiple percentage points to the downside. Now, Lam Research, Applied Materials, how you been performing? TXN, SK Hynix actually up 3.4% here today, so not too bad of a look. Cherif, you know what I say, apes together strong, and SanDisk and some of these MU trades are looking pretty good.
Fabian liked that one.
Yeah, Fabian did like that one. I'm waiting for the next one to come out. iBit and the cryptocurrencies, once again, not performing very well, which is, I mean, it's the narrative. Are we surprised by that? I don't think we should be. But come on, we need any form of a pullback. See, look at this. It's posted up at 72.95, and then off to the races it goes. Of course it would. Of course. And then now we have METU off to the races. This METU position is definitely going to be the largest one of the day if we are fortunate enough to catch a fill, but it doesn't look like it wants to pull back right now, Cherif. With that being said,
force it.
I wish I could. I wish I could, my boy. I wish I would. But anyways, aside from that, It is a little bit of a slow one, and an additional print on the NASDAQ, Gorv. That's why I'm going to take another attempt at it. If these trend lines do break, why do I still have SanDisk up here? Get this garbage out of here.
Get that garbage out of here.
META. I went to show you these videos. Zuckerberg and company. He was on like some lake, and he was sparring with a former UFC.
I saw that. I saw that. Of course I saw that.
I
was right about to send it to you.
They're obviously going mad light on.
Yeah, of course, bro.
Yeah, but
Can I say something?
Yeah.
God bless him, bro. He's trying something that he clearly was, not great at. So you got to give him his credit for doing something like that.
Man.
But what do you think about his technique and his just overall athleticism?
He's not a natural athlete, but he's worked hard to the tune where he doesn't look horrible.
What are you doing, Fabian? Is that a Cherif filter? What the hell was that?
It looked like you had a filter. Is that your actual mustache?
Is that your actual stash?
Yeah, it is actually. I noticed him walking away. Was that a Cherif filter? Oh, he's got a...
That's a Neil filter. I'm not...
Oh,
I almost swore, bro.
Oh, wow. Whoa, that's crazy.
This guy, man. Fabian, can I say something to you, brother?
That's Neil still, right?
Can I just describe you in 3 words?
Oh.
Creative, talented, and hardworking.
Oh.
That's exactly what I would say to Fabian. This dude never surprises me.
Yeah.
He doesn't surprise me because he constantly does it well,
Keep
bro.
doing his thing.
Shout out to my man Fabian, bro. This guy always kills me.
Go pull up that.
Get it, Fabian.
Let me get that Neil filter for when I'm over
Joey.
on the disc. What's up?
We did it live.
What'd you do?
We took NN to 19, Joey.
Oh, attaboy.
1898. There goes NN 899s here, Joseph Options. Boom into 1905. Oh, my money, man. Get out of here. Boom into 1914. New high a day on NN. We're almost $1 in the money, man. Let's go. Now we're going to post that 1934, 1933. Okay. There we go. 12's options, man. We're looking for more. It's a 15 high a day on NN, man. We've been all over NN since the breakout. What time did I get in, Joey? I got in at 12 o'clock now. It's almost an hour here of NN. This is the best of the bunch right now. To me, this is a short squeeze, right? It's just too slow of a mover for this one to be, a volatility. Sorry, I just have to put my headphones back on. For this to be kind of just more of a buying as opposed to short covering here. So it's looking fantastic. I did check the short float on this, guys, by the way. Borrowed for short right now. So shares sold short, 16.23 million. That's about 9.78 days to cover. And the short float percentage, if you want that, right around 13, 12.9. Here it is, again, knocking on the door. Bovin says METN. So now that we've done well here on NN, and we can kind of rest a little bit easier, let's look at the OG special Bovin. Okay, Bovin, this is looking like it's going to flat top break here. There is a key seller, Bovin, here at 145. That is the high of the day, but it was also the pre-market high, Bovin. Look at these. That's 145 area high. This one over here, 145 area high. The official high of the day is 145. We were above it in the the pre-market got us to 155, but that was right at 4 a.m. and that closed red. It turned around right away. Now, I want to point out that this one broke in the aftermarket yesterday. This is MTEN for everybody following along. Sorry, let me throw in the ticker. So I want to point out there's that 155 level that we couldn't close anything above. So be careful with that. And then the ultimate high right around 525 yesterday was $1.72. So be on the lookout here. MTEN taking out the high, Bovin, into 148. MTEN here, new high a day. It behooves you to keep your eye on this one if you're small cap gapper inclined. That hot garbage PLAG is still halted. I hate that stock. So we're going to put MTEN on the side chart, Bovin. Great call out. It needs 165 to be broken. I kind of agree with that, Bovin. I would say maybe 155 just because of the closing prints. I would say something in between what you're saying, Bov. I would say it needs to close above 155. So these ones, these candles from the aftermarket, none of them could close. above 155. Then at 4 a.m., lo and behold, we get to 155 again and we sell. So if I get a closing print, above 155, I'm going to keep my eye out on that for a possible long. But Bovin is going to trade a little bit differently. I hope you print Bovin. And then rejecting 19 now, Joey. 1917 high, dropping down now into 1888. So I have one out left, guys. This is a big winner for me here on NN. So we're pleased with this one. Added 3 times into this trade, initially at 17, again at 17.5, again at 18 and a third over here. And now we're looking for either a retaking of 19, a decisive retaking of 19, so we can ride it into 20, or I stop out below my entry. So let's see exactly what we get on this bad boy.
All right, so so Gaurav and I are discussing here. This is definitely, it has to be the last attempt, right? We're just counter trending and you're not getting the bounces. The market has most definitely cooled down from a directional standpoint, right? It's been definitely been a quiet one, but we're posted up at the right levels. Let's see if we can get a move back up into this prior zone, 73.05. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but what I do want to catch a fill on is this bad boy. Like, come on, like, give us one more penny on this. It keeps printing 20, 22, 26, and you're telling me on this name, on a $600 name, you're not going to pull back a little bit more just in order for us to catch this order right now? Come on, what kind of nonsense is that? So we are in the TQs right now. We'll go back. We took a loss on it earlier today, and then we take some scalps on it not too long ago. So a nice little scalp city there. We take that loss, and then sure enough, we take an entry, get that W right here once again. So we may as well just continuously try to hammer the trade. But if it's not going to work out at some point, we have to abandon the thesis.
Wow, that's big.
And then Canada and U.S. trade officials are planning a potential deal to present to Trump next week, according to CBC sources. Yeah, that's good. That's okay. Nice. You know what's even better right now, Cherif, is this pop in the NASDAQ that we're getting. So not too bad of a look, maybe off of that headline, but immediately met by some form of defense at $73, and then now probably going to put in a new low of the day. This is why we reject it. Make the market go up big. I wish I could, man. Unfortunately, I do not hold that type of power. And with that type of power comes great responsibility. You guys know this. Don't forget that type of stuff. 22, 26. Let's see if we can get that move. Other than that, NVDA giving back all of its gains from bright and early this morning. Now about to go negative. You got about 0.1% positivity. Apple, all the Mag 7 red, but that's all right, man. It went on a nice little rally, and then sure enough, now it's starting to pull back some.
All right, I want to comment on this headline here. So we have a trade team that has been negotiating directly with Jameson Greer, being led by the minister, I think, in trade or something, Dominic LeBlanc. I forget his exact title. And he is being assisted by a couple of other individuals. And so far, the meetings have gone way longer than scheduled. For example, I believe on, it was Friday or Monday, they had a half an hour meeting scheduled and it ended up being an hour and a half. To me, that's usually good news. The problem is, though, now, the Americans are quite irritated with the provincial removal of American booze, American alcohol. The problem with the negotiators being able to help the Americans with that is they don't control that. The federal regulator doesn't control what the provincial governments can do with alcohol. Oh, I kind of skipped a step here. Alcohol sales in this country is governed by the province. So in the province of Ontario, we have something called the LCBO, the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. They used to have exclusive domain to sell all alcohol with the beer store. That's changed a little bit. Now we can kind of buy it at gas stations and convenience stores and grocery stores, but it's limited to what we can get. So hard liquor essentially only can go through that LCBO that I just spoke about. So that's where the Americans are a little frustrated, because we took off in this province. Only 2 provinces, I believe, haven't taken off American booze. I think that's Saskatchewan and Alberta. I could be wrong. Maybe there's more. But those are the main 2. So the Americans are highly irritated by that. The problem is the Fed can't force the province to put booze back on the shelf. So it's almost like the party who can actually kind of remove one of these trade irritants isn't even available at the table during negotiations. That's part of the problem here. Now, some people feel that the Fed could put enough pressure on the provinces to get them to kind of acquiesce and put American booze back on in exchange for a better deal. That's the thing. What does a better deal mean? It could mean one thing to the Fed and entirely different thing to all the different provinces that we have here. So it's kind of parcelized or kind of broken down negotiations, I would say. That makes it a little bit trickier. But to hear that, you know, they do have some sort of possible progress here in the negotiations is nice, because it's been basically fruitless so far. They are a little worried, though, up here about the upcoming tariffs of about 50% on certain sectors. It's about like $50 billion or something like that worth of goods on a yearly basis. So hopefully that goes well, and we'll see exactly what President Trump will and will not accept as part of these negotiation processes. But it's been Jameson Greer. I think he's been leading up all the negotiations. It hasn't been President Trump and Prime Minister Carney at all negotiating. In fact, when they did meet at the World Cup, the next day, we got tariffs put on us to the tune of 50%. So my question was, what the hell did Carney say to him? Because it looked like they were joking around in the box, right? It was him, Scheinbaum, and Trump. And then literally the next day after the World Cup final, we got clipped with those new tariffs. So it's a little bit of it's been all over the map in terms of negotiations here. Anyway, continuing to watch, NN, topping till candles, 2 now, in fact. They're above 19 right now, with the price action just right at 19, 19.21 high. I was waiting for 33s. We got 34s on. It looks like it might fail 19 here because, yeah, that's the second topping till candle in a row that we have. So we'll see exactly how that goes. Kilgore, sup, Habibi. Provincial citizens started the movement. Yes, there was a wide agreement amongst the Canadian populace right now that American booze should be kept off the shelves unless a trade deal comes in. That's the popular kind of vote, but we don't work that way, right? Politicians, we have that trustee system. Provincial citizens started the movement, and there is nothing to be done because it's a grassroots. Kudos to my effectual American reps for ignoring the leaf. Well put, Kilgore. I don't agree with everything you said there, but I do like the vehemence with which you put it. Ozan, can you please re-explain the booze irritation? I don't understand. I hate you, Ozan. Jay, Gutubes, I'm disciplined to acquiesce to your request. Shout out to my man, Bovin. Cast. Bovin doesn't talk politics, bro. Bovin wants to know about the money. Flat top break, Bovin, through 140 on that, showing 143 CAST. Ramping up. Darth Trader, Quebec is one of the 2 provinces that removed American product. No, brother, I think it's more than 2 provinces who removed them. I think it's only 2 that haven't removed them. Double check for me because I'm pretty sure it's Saskatchewan and Alberta. I could be wrong about that, but when we hang out here, I'll take a look at it for you. Big. Money. There's my man, Cherif. Thank you, first of all, Big Spow, for the $10 super chat. Cherif, you said you want to use Huadunk more. And right now is your chance. Give me my money, man. Spy, keep Joey's name out your mouth.
Bang.
AMD. I like that. He's standing up for you.
Yeah, I know, man. That's my guy. He's turned a leaf.
Shout out to my man. You want to look at the spy for your boy over
Big
there?
Spy? Oh, yeah, we could do that.
Trump going to tax your maple syrup. Yeah, he wants to tax a lot more than that. The aluminum, the lumber, cars, I think, are all included in these new Section 300-something tariffs that he slapped on us the day after he met with Prime Minister Carney. And again, guys, I'm not even hating on Prime Minister Carney. I'm not. I didn't vote for him, but I think he's doing a pretty good job given the circumstances, and I'm willing to give him more time. Go ahead, Chip.
Wait, I mean, if the other guy can do 10 years, I'm sure he can do hopefully double that or something along those lines. Anyways, aside from that, here's the SPY. Hit all-time highs not too long ago, coming off of that level. So I mean, in the bigger picture, this is nothing. Even though it seems like a pretty negative session, that's not necessarily the case. So we pull back to the tune of it was like 4%. This is how shallow these pullbacks actually are. Is at 4%, and then off to the races you go, putting in a new all-time high. Obviously, I mentioned this before, being led by the banks and healthcare. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. But I wouldn't be surprised if we come back and retest 750, 57, 55s area. So that's where I stand when it comes to the SPY. Now we're in some META via METU. Let's see if we're going to get a nice sustained rebound. We posted up around the lows off of this 5-minute print here, Gorev. I'm like, hey, man, we may as well put our money where some strength is at least. And sure enough, we are on the backside of it, but it's still in a downtrend, and it can give back the majority of its move. We've seen Meta do this multiple times. Katina Man was short all the way up here, so I don't know if he's still short Meta, but we are now long off those lows, looking for that move back in towards the volume-weighted average price. So here it is. Watch for slow grinding down markets. I get some patience to close shorts and optimism. Yeah, I completely agree. Watch out for big bounce on Google, says Lindenmeyer. We'll keep an eye out on that bad boy. And we have another $5 super chat. Venezuela before Iran. This replaced loss of oil form war. We need y'all to up your nat resources production to sustain U.S. larger goals, not about alcohol. Yeah, I think the alcohol thing is kind of a small factor, just a pawn in this whole chess game.
Well, it's what the provinces are citing, so it's not just me making it up, right?
I'm not saying that you're making it up. I'm just
so
saying.
I think what he's saying is he doesn't give a,
a beep about the alcohol.
We need to up our oil production, and I think we are, brother. Like, look at that pipeline that he agreed to with Danielle Smith in Alberta.
Yeah.
That's going to run through British Columbia, whether EB wants it or not. He doesn't have the last word. It's Carney's word that's gonna be decisive here. And Carney has undertook to kind of negotiate or what they call consult with the natives. The natives are completely against any sort of pipeline or tankers coming into the North Pacific. What I find to be a little interesting about that is that you have American tankers all over the North Pacific. They're there. So if you were worried about an environmental disaster, the Americans are already there. So by saying the Canadian tankers can't go there, just puts us at a disadvantage, right? And so that's kind of how I feel about that. But I get it. You guys need oil. You guys got more oil than us, man. Why don't you go and dig it out of the Gulf of America? Right? There's plenty over there. So shout out to Nick. It doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't, brother. But you know they're not happy about it. It's the American trade representatives who are saying that they're not happy about that. They weren't happy about that, and they weren't happy about the digital service tax that we were going to levy on the American streamers like Netflix and stuff. So apparently that's still going through because that's by this governing body called the CRTC. So apparently the Fed is just going to cover the tax on behalf of the American streamers, which is interesting. It's like, why do Canadians have to pay for that? Because that's obviously going to come out of the public purse. So I didn't really understand how that was going to work. Anyway, Adair's got news.
Keep an eye on Serve Robotics, guys. This already kind of dropped right now, trying to recover, I guess, off these lows. Bloomberg reporting that Uber has exited its stake in Serve Robotics. Again, Serve Robotics here. Uber was holding this. They've exited their stake. UBE are not reacting at all, but Serve not reacting too positively as one might expect from this. That being said, we're still relatively flat compared to where we closed yesterday. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Bovin. ALEC ripping up. Good call out, Bovin. This is a better one here, more directional. Right above 2 it goes. This is ALEC, 10 EMA at the $2 area. You also had a longer period of consolidation. I would say about 15 to 20 minutes. It looks like there's 3 or 4 bars there, right around $2. $2 could be a nice hold here on ALEC. I guess if it loses 95, perhaps that could be your out. Volume on ALEC, 3.75 million shares. It just started picking up volume here. It looks like the majority of the volume started coming in at 12:15. So this is a newer-ish trade, not exactly a new trade, but PLAG is still halted. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to put this one on the side chart above and see if we can execute something on that. Still holding NN. It did dip down into 1875 at in-add. So this is a bit of a consolidation area here, but it's above 1921 high. I just saw this one make its way up to 1915, but there was a seller at 15. So let's see if we can get in a little bit more if it does dip or if it takes out that 21 high. I'm waiting at 33s, Joe.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, thanks for the lookout, brother. We know once this cracks and holds the low, then we just get out of dodge on on the Meta trade. It had that nice volatility spike bright and early this morning. We had no idea. There's no real news backing it, but here it is, the NASDAQ bleeding as we really start to amp up the volume in the NVDA selling. Yeah, it's really starting to bleed. Let's get out of this this Meta trade here momentarily, just in case there's no form of rebound. And I said to Gorva, I'm like, you know what, that's it, man. Enough of this bottom picking here for the day. 212, I believe, is going to be completely in the works on this name. We can head over to the daily and see what we got going on. See, we're going to start to enter this gap. This is where I wanted to see it hold. If it comes back into the middle of this range, anything more than that, I wouldn't be surprised if we give back the majority of this move back into the lower 200s, I should say, even though we're at 216, but maybe even back to $100 and $195. Again, I'm just forward looking. It's not going to happen in the span of a day or so. It takes a lot of capital to move this name in either direction. This is where your boy Burry is short from 210 up in this neck of the woods. So still slightly OTM on that one. We went over our watch list. We can keep our eye on it. But this is what Gorb and I were fighting. And that's why the pullbacks were so shallow, right? So it's like, okay, you take the profit and just get out of there. AMD does look like it's going to break down. Watch out, because if it's going to decide to play catch up, it's lagging what NVDA is doing right now. You can most definitely see that momentum and volume kick in with this name, and you break 463, man, oh man, this thing can really start to slide. And I still stand in the camp, regardless of the report. I do believe that we're going to see some more downside, and I think it's healthy to have that form of a pullback. What we experienced over the past month, a 4% pullback in the SPY, like, man, that just speaks of the strength. I would like to see a little bit more, to be honest with you, just so you can, some of the weak hands, more liquidity absorbed, and then you can take an additional leg higher. But right now, 4% just isn't doing it for me, and I think it's the same thing for a lot of people. It's just like, okay, you're waiting for that opportunity to get in, and then it's just like a micro pullback, and then off to the races, establishing new all-time highs, which is like, okay, well, we were expecting maybe 10% at least, but that's not the case. It just speaks of the strength. You got 11% in the NASDAQ. That was the deep, and then boom. We still haven't put in that all-time high, but it's not even comparable in this name. It's a fraction of this is what diversification does. It just really, really limits the volatility, and then sure enough, bang, off to the races. It goes to the top side. Yeah, I'm gonna hop out of Meta here momentarily.
All right, we got into walk. Remember Manchu walk?
Yeah, it's still around. I'm pretty sure.
Still around, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
We got into walk over here. Risky trade, not gonna lie. We're in at 56s, defended 50, wet the beak all the way up into 70, pulling back now into 2/3, looking for a move into 3. Separately, I saw that NN got to 1931. I'm waiting at 34, so it doesn't quite fill me there. Let's see what walk has to offer here. The tape is starting to pick up a little bit more aggressively. Here's 63, 65. Let's take some profits here. I'm looking for a breach of 70, selling at 64, 68, 69. Looking for the move here. Selling coming in at 2/3 of a dollar consistently. So it does price spike up into high 60s, low 70s, but at least not yet in terms of continuation. Into 70 it goes. Let's go, Manchu walk. Let's go. We're going to post up a little bit higher here. Into 80s. Yep. Continuing to sell at 65 here. So I am worried about a bit of a flash drop on that. Oh, my foot, man. It's not good. It is not good again, man. Take over.
Yeah. All right, METU, guys, still starting to find some form of rebound. 222, and they're printing 24s. You can see that we're in at 25s. Bit going over there. Let's see how the banks have been performing on today's session. TKO, how you been doing? Even though we removed it, listen, it was a good little buy for us, and then we get out of that one. TKO Holdings, where did you go? Starbucks up 1.3%, just in case anybody was curious. I know you guys have been asking in the chat, being highly sarcastic there. TKO up 1.6%. Buy off these lows, $180, now finding some form of recovery. So that's a pretty good look, I'm not gonna lie. I do believe we're gonna breach through this supply zone on this bad boy and then continue to move a little bit higher. Something that's been really disappointing for me is Walmart. With that being said, I think it's a good opportunity to get involved if you're looking to diversify and get into some staples. Still down about 13% off of the highs, 16, sorry, on that one. So, hey, basing out at 108. Not too bad of a look. There we go, Cherif. Finally, Meta getting a nice little uptick, 22.27. This is our largest position of the day. Looking for a break of this 22.30 marker. We're at 5s. Need at least a 35 before we look to take anything off of this specific posiciones. Now here it is. I know I'm saying that wrong. Fabian, don't shoot the messenger, my boy. Where did that go? Oh, did I put it over here? Okay, yeah, I did. So yeah, other than that, guys, the AMD, I'm glad that you pieced them out on that big spy. I think that's a smart play, just because it hasn't broke down yet. But when the momentum steps in, you'll be able to identify that the volume will kick in, and then I think it'll be they'll give you a good opportunity to get involved. Now printing 28s, Joey OG, keep the show rolling. If he dies, he dies. Who? Me? Yeah.
Drago,
Drago.
that's where it's from, right? Rocky 4. I know you're not a fan of Rocky, that's why.
If he dies, if he dies, he dies.
If
I
he
know that.
dies,
I know that part. The big Russian guy said that, right?
Ivan Drago.
Ivan Drago.
He was so sinister, bro.
Was he?
Yeah, man, of course. And then at the end, he disavowed communism because they were using him as the kind of puppet boy there.
And this is in the movie.
Yeah. And then this like communist leader comes up to him and he's like, "You're a disgrace." And then he's like talking smack to him in his ear because Rocky's catching up on points. The fight is kind of changing hands. So the guy comes up to him and he hits him in the side of the head. Drago loses it. He grabs the guy up by one hand, puts him he's like, "I fight for me."
Oh.
And then he looks at the Politburo who was sitting like in the stands, right? Where the Secretary General was there. And he's like, he looks at him, he's like, "I fight for me." Right? So get it? Collectivism, individualism.
Yeah. He fights
Go
for
ahead,
himself.
yeah. I am. Is it? Your dad's awesome. I like it. All right, guys, we're having a good time. Boom! Here we go on Walk. Shout out to Manchu Walk here. We're looking for more options, man, but the sellers keep coming in. At 64, we got 55s. We keep defending that 50 area. We're not being aided by the sellers. We need to take out this 64 seller here, man, and we're unable to do that. There he is again, 65. Can we get a little higher? The answer to that is no. So we'll continue piecing out here, sadly, as we can't take out that seller. So I don't want to get caught in a flush below 50 bucks as a possibly an aggressive short seller comes in, 50 pennies. And here we go again, dipping down into 55s. I'm running out of patience with this one. I feel it is a little consolidative here. I'm not really sure how to feel about this. I should probably, how many shares do I have left? Should probably flatten out here as 50. There it is. My God, why would it go all the way down there? Goodness gracious. All right. Good luck. All right, here we go. Spoiler alert. Sorry, it's from 1985, man. Like, if you haven't watched it, you haven't watched it by now. Kilgore. In Soviet Russia, it was the premier, not general secretary. Sorry, brother. They said general secretary in the movie, so, I'm just copying what they're saying in the movie. But, yeah, you seem to know your stuff. When did it work? Oh, Tisha, get it. Yes. Well, I don't know. I called it Manchu Walk, right? Because we have like a Chinese kind of fast food place called Manchu Walk up here. I don't know if you guys have it down there, but that's what I was calling it. But yeah, keeping an eye here on Walk. Shout out to my man Jacques. He's in the chat. He's in the house. Look, guys, we got to 1931 on NN. I was posting at 33s, so didn't quite make it up there. Now I'm just hanging out here at 19s. Nothing for me to do. We'll see how this trade ends up going. But a little disappointed here with how I traded Walk. We had into the highs, we defended, but ended up breaking 50. So that's kind of the way that cookie crumbles, Joey.
All right, yeah, let's see if we get this bounce here. Lindemeyer, I see you mentioning this. Okay, nice little uptick there back in Meta. That's what we want to see. Google, hey man, anything, I want to buy a little bit more. I still have some capital to deploy for this name. Are we going to head back into this zone? I don't know. That's a great question. If it breaks, then by all means, let's get involved in a little bit more. I don't have much more capital to deploy to this name, but I do have a little bit that I'm going to grab up, and I have another tranche or two that I'm going to be looking to grab on SpaceX, and the rest is going to wherever I please. Cherif,
yes.
In Soviet Russia market trade.
I love that. By Tam Panda.
Yeah, Tam Panda. Yeah, bang, there it is. I heard, do you know, are you familiar with the Russian stock market?
No, brother, I'm not. All I know about the Russian stock market is O'Leary got involved. before Gazprom got nationalized. It's like one of their biggest oil companies.
Yeah.
And he said he lost his money
Yeah.
because of the nationalization of it, and he would never invest in Russia again. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So I don't have any more information on that.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if you can pull it up, to be honest with you.
The Russian?
Yeah.
I don't even think so. Maybe TradingView? Or are you on
MOEX. Yeah, I'm trying pulling it up here, but apparently it's Jose was telling me this, that it's absolutely disastrous over there. Like it's pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, I would
point.
imagine something like that.
Really, eh?
I wouldn't compare it to the Chinese market though, guys. I'm seeing your Paradox or China. I don't know. I don't think they're the same thing, right? I think, you know, you definitely have a lot more security for your money in China than you do in Russia. Even though, yeah, you know, China, it's got its quirks, to put it.
I mean, it's not disastrous.
Is that the Russian market?
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it in, man.
Let's see what we got.
I bet. What are the constituent elements? Is it just like all oil?
I have no idea. I don't know what the components are.
When's the last time you saw like a DVD player or a GPU or a TV come out of Mother Russia? Not crapping.
I don't know if I've ever seen any of that.
Yeah, there doesn't seem.
Yeah,
like
we used to get a lot of stuff made in Russia. Eh? I remember.
Really?
I don't know. Did we?
I don't think so. Not that I remember. Maybe I'm wrong. Fact check me, chat. I do remember us getting the Lada. Do you know about the Lada?
No, what is that?
That's a Russian car.
Oh, the Lada. Yeah, the Lada. Yeah, the Lada. Yeah.
It was here for a bit, brother.
Was it?
Yeah, man.
I seen there's a couple of clips of the Tate brothers, how they were just talking about. I know a lot of people don't like those guys. Anyways, they're just saying how the Lada is the best vehicle, and there's like this guy driving a Lada down the highway, and it's just like dodging missiles. No, it's real. You never seen that video?
Is it an AI video?
No, it's real. Yeah, there's like missiles going off behind them. They're like landing behind them, and yeah.
Lada's Italian. Says Cat Molfart. Really? I thought it was Russian.
It doesn't.
Even Assassino thinks it's. Is there some joint venture between Italy and Russia where Lada's kind of like made both? I thought it was Russian. I know that there's obviously a lot of Italian cars. Fiat. Mercedes is Russian?
The web says it,
Yeah, the web says it's Russian. Yeah, so Assassino just checked. Joint venture with user. Well, Fiat joint venture with USSR. Really? I didn't know that. Interesting. Lada is Russian, yeah. I know Yugoslavia, the former Yugoslavia, of course, doesn't exist anymore, also had its own car. I forget which one. Is that the Topolino? Is Topolino? Am I wrong on that, guys? Double check me. Eddie, Lada is Russian, but built under licensed Fiat models of the 60s. Interesting. That makes a lot more. Yugo. Yeah. Yugoslavia, Yugo. Oh, so the Topolino is Yugoslavian. Yes, that's what I thought. My old man he taught me this stuff, brother. Yeah, the Yugo. Look at the chat's educated, eh? They're coming in fast.
Remember that? This is the movie I was thinking about. Remember this movie, Eastern Promises?
Put it before Assassinos.
Yeah, Eastern Promises. You remember that one there?
No, I haven't.
With our boy.
What were they promising? You know what I'm going to promise people?
What's that?
The
news segment?
The news segment, because Sia has been waiting. She's ready and going. So let's talk. Sia, I see here the first story. The American chip maker.
First story is indeed INTC, the chip maker. Intel has announced a $15 billion common stock offering yesterday, but the price now has changed from the $15 billion mark to a $20 billion now, with offer price of $95 per share. So Intel has said that the offering is set to close on the 12th of August, and it is expected to raise net proceeds of $19.7 billion after deducting underwriting discounts as well as commissions and estimated offering expenses. So Intel has intentions of using the proceeds for, and they said, and I quote, general corporate purposes, including but not limited to CapEx and working capital. So Intel has, as of yesterday, also highlighted a physical AI purpose-built silicon and advanced packaging among the major growth opportunities, and also said that the company will be using the funding to support corporate needs, including, like I said, capital expenditure and working capital. So the announcement includes a 30-day option, important to note, that will allow underwriters to buy an additional $2.25 billion in common stock. INTC is currently down 0.5%.
Thank you very much for that, Sia. All right, so as she mentioned, this is an upsized offering. It was going to be 15. We reported that to you guys yesterday. All of a sudden, it's going to be 20. And guess what? That 20 could be 100 if it was left up to the investors. It's 5 times oversubscribed, meaning the amount of individuals that are willing to actually invest in this, right now individuals, I'm talking about institutions, of course, is to the tune of $100 billion. So there's a lot of demand there for that. Also, it could be $23 billion. I'm not saying it could be. It actually may be. And that's because the underwriters here were granted a 30-day option to purchase an additional 31.58 million shares. So if fully exercised, the total raise could be $23 billion. That's the other part that I wanted to talk about there. And then, not all of the 20 billion or 23 is going to go directly to Intel. In fact, the underwriters here are going to get a healthy cut. So of that 20 billion, JP, Morgan or Goldman and Morgan and Citi, they're going to get 300 from that 20 billion, 300 million.
300 schmil on that one? Yeah, all right. Yeah, I got.
And then the direct equity offset for revised capex. So essentially, all the money they're bringing in here is going to go to finish their plant out in Ireland, where they're looking at making chips. So the money is already earmarked. WOK took out the high of the day, 273.
So yeah, I mean, 210 million shares priced at $95 a piece there. Cherif mentioned the individuals who are participating in that. Also granted underwriters a 30-day option to purchase up to 31.6 million additional shares at the offering price. Shares of Intel closed 4.1% lower. So we've seen what the street has got going on. When you start issuing debt, a big time issue. Right? No pun intended, I guess, there. But as for Intel, a name that's been on a big-time run, obviously, with the government stake and how Donald Trump's administration is involved with Intel. You've seen the substantial run all the way up to $130+. Now that has come back in. But I think at the end of the day, there's going to be a good opportunity to get involved, allow price to turn around, and then sure enough, what we can determine from that point is, hey, is this worth us getting involved? $143, pulls back 41%, and now starting to find somewhat of a rebound. I just believe from a technical standpoint, there's going to still be a little bit of time before it does a complete turnaround, but shelves are holding up. These prices, the issuing is right around where we're trading at right now, so not too far off of that level, slightly in the money at that point, just like this METU trade finally starting to work for us. Let's send it back to Sia, talk about the next story.
Let's talk about the OpenAI IPO story here. So OpenAI has completed a secondary share sale totaling roughly to $7 billion, which will now allow the current and former employees of the company to sell and sell stock at the company's $8.52 billion valuation. So the tender offer has been in the works since OpenAI had closed its record-breaking $122 billion funding round in March. But this deal will help alleviate some near-term pressure for liquidity, also allowing employees to cash in a portion of their holdings ahead of this massive IPO that we're expecting. And the company had confidentially filed its prospectus with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, in June, but it hasn't disclosed as of yet an official timeline for its debut. And another thing to keep in mind is that we know Anthropic is also eyeing this and is in a similar position.
Talk about the OpenAI IPO quite often, right? We don't know if it's actually going to happen. I think there's more, we can shed some more light on the Anthropic side of things, but in regards to what's holding OpenAI back, I think there's multiple questions looming. It's like, hey, you're supposed to be a nonprofit, Elon Musk, Sam Altman, not a lot of people liking the likes of this guy's jib and how he's been moving around certain investors. For me personally, what we could do is, it's a private company at this point, offering more shares and having the ability to sell them off. I really can't see what goes on behind those scenes, but I believe Anthropic is most definitely going to report before OpenAI, Sam Altman and company decide to as well. So yeah, let's see. Only time will tell. I don't believe it's going to happen this year. We would have had some more information. We're heading into September relatively soon, and with that being said, only a couple more months left in the year. And if we're not hearing anything else, then I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen at all in 2026 and then takes a little bit of time while in 2027. Cherif just rolling back in. What we can do is send it back to Sia unless you want to comment on OpenAI IPO. We can send it back and talk about Eli Lilly.
No.
Let's take a look now at Eli Lilly, LLY. So it's won its first approval to sell weight loss drug Foundeo outside of the United States. And now this will basically allow it to compete with its rival, as we do know it, Novo Nordisk, Wegovy in the UK. So this is the second GLP-1 weight loss pill in the European market, and it comes just after 2 months that Novo launched its Wegovy pill just there. UK's Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency has, as of yesterday, said that orforglipron, sold as Foundeo, will be available for weight management and type 2 diabetes, but it will be available on prescription. So regarding new treatments, they will need to be evaluated for cost effectiveness by the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, that is NICE, NICE, to be available through the country's National Health Service, NHS. So Lilly has also sought to emphasize that Foundeo, which is as small as a molecule medicine, can be taken without any restrictions on food or timing, but Wegovy must and is, on the other hand, should be taken first thing in the morning with a sip of water and no other food or drink for at least 30 minutes. So to compare the two even more, Foundeo has seen a significantly slower uptake in the US than the Wegovy pill. Lilly is currently down 1% on the day.
All right, so it's great that they're expanding their total addressable market. That goes without saying. I love the look, but for me, Lilly, you're basing it right now. If you're getting involved in Lilly, you got to be looking to the next thing. And the next thing is going to come either in late 27, early 28. We know that to be retatrutide. We don't know exactly what the name of the drug is going to be marketed as. That is the chemical name. That is the triple agonist. It's by far the most advanced in the market. Everything else is either a single agonist or a double agonist. And most of these ones, they work off basically appetite suppression, whereas retatrutide actually changes how your body synthesizes fat, right? And how it uses its different energy sources. So appetite suppression, not the only path to weight loss that retatrutide uses. I would say, you're building a position in anticipation for that. But with respect to growing outside of the market, you got to love that. Of course, having your foot in the door in a country obviously makes it a little bit easier to get your next drug in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a total addressable market is key, and we talked about the pill form as well too, which helps a lot of companies, or countries, I should say, with storage and a lot more cost efficient as well. Other than that, METU guys really starting to work for us at this point. Once again, I mentioned this being the largest position of the day. Let's see if we can get this move back into the volume weighted average price. Maybe we take some off at $22.40. So this is slowly starting to cook up. I haven't looked at the overall market right now. Our focus is on META. Send it back to Sia.
We're going to take a look at Nvidia here. So Nvidia, close to the bell yesterday, had said that it is attempting to turn its AI chips into Wall Street's newest asset class, partnering with 6 large asset managers on a $500 billion financing push that is designed to treat compute infrastructure much like the commercial real estate, toll roads, or any other assets to borrow against. So Nvidia has signed MOUs that are memorandum of understandings with Apollo Global Management, Blackstone, BlackRock, Brookfield Asset Management, Goldman Sachs, and KKR to establish financing platforms for this effort. So all of this for NVIDIA's customers and the company that is set as of yesterday. So this effort will more than aim to mobilize more than $500 billion in third-party capital for hyperscalers, frontier AI labs, and enterprises to build out data centers, also acquire NVIDIA hardware, marking a rather potentially important shift in how AI infrastructure is funded. So NVIDIA will be helping its end users secure this kind of financing that they need without tapping their own balance sheets, also using institutional credit, insurance funds, and private capital to underwrite GPUs as well as data centers, with that NVIDIA flat on the day.
Yeah, and I like the way that they're looking at this. They're kind of looking at the GPU as a yielding asset, right? That has basically a depreciated capital cost that you can offset against taxes, but it also helps you realize revenue in whatever your business is. So I like the way that they're looking at that. I see how Sia mentioned that it's not going to affect their balance sheet, which is fine. You're not on an accounting statement, but when you look at liabilities, outstanding liabilities, all the guarantees that they're putting for these companies, whether they're guaranteeing their CPUs or the GPUs, sorry, that they're buying, or infrastructure in general, or they're guaranteeing their leases, these are all actually contingent liabilities on Nvidia. And maybe they're not recognized from quarter to quarter on your balance sheet, but they're certainly recognized by Wall Street, who's much smarter, of course, and realizes that they're accruing liabilities on their balance sheet by guaranteeing this build out. Now, one thing I do like about this is that Wall Street, who I guess have to make the assessment here, are more sophisticated investors, and they're liking this enough to be backing it financially. I guess, that is a bit of an endorsement there. So it helps you sleep a little bit easier, Joey.
I mean, listen, we're starting to see this across the board amongst all these hyperscalers. I mean, if we talk about where the money is funneling to, without any question, it's going into some of these chip makers. Now, as for the deal with IBM, NVIDIA is getting their hand in almost every cookie jar at this point, and that's exactly why I'm going to remain heavily as long as I possibly can be on this name and continuously buy some more until the hyperscalers really start to stop spending their cash. Now, how will we be able to identify that? Through the earnings report. They're raising debt right now, so with that being said, what I'm seeing from that and what I'm taking from it is that they have no intentions in slowing down anytime soon. So that's why I'm going to forever remain long until the narrative changes, and I don't think it is until the next couple of years. See ya.
Let's take a look at Hims and Hers earnings here. Adara, I know you want to talk about this. So revenue has grown nearly 40% year over year, more than $753 million in the second quarter. Subscribers have been added 300,000 net new subscribers, ending the quarter with nearly 3 million. Domestic revenue accelerated 16% year over year growth, generating a whopping $622 million. International revenue has increased over 17-fold year over year to $131 million. GAAP gross margin, 64%, down approximately 6 points quarter over quarter. Adjusted EBITDA, $60 million. That represents an 8% margin. You've GAAP net income, which is a loss of $86 million. That's impacted by non-recurring acquisition, restructuring, as well as legal costs. And then you have just a couple of things that I do want to mention is the third quarter guidance and the full year 2026 guidance here. So third quarter revenue is expected between the range of $880 million and $900 million. Adjusted EBITDA between $75 to $95 million. Full year guidance on revenue has been raised to $3.1 billion in the range to $3.3 billion. Adara. Adjusted EBITDA expected between $275 to $325 million.
Talk about one aspect of Hims and Hers revenue, and it's the same aspect that I talked about over on the wall yesterday during the To the Window, to the Wall segment. Here's my deal with Hims and Hers. I think it's very interesting that this is the second quarter in the row, at least the second quarter in the row. I didn't go back further, though. You guys know me. If I'm left to my own devices, I probably will. It's really interesting how U.S. revenue is well over 75% of the company's total revenue, but it's barely growing. And then this smaller pie here, the rest of the world revenue, is growing exponentially. So last quarter, what you had here was just shy of 1,000% year-over-year growth for the rest of the world revenue, while U.S. revenue actually declined. Now, at least this quarter, U.S. revenue is still growing, but only by 16%. Now, 16% might not be too bad if the rest of the world revenue wasn't up by 1,641%, 1,600 plus percent. So again, I'm not saying it's bad that the rest of the world revenue is growing. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying if you look at, I guess, the fact that our best growth is coming from a segment that is such a small, like literally small piece of the company's overall revenue pie. I don't know. I think it's an interesting look at it. It really makes me wonder, again, what we do next quarter. What do we see next quarter? I would like to see, I guess, a reacceleration of U.S. revenue. But then again, I think it makes sense. You're acquiring stuff like eucalyptus, right? You're acquiring into other branches. I'm not saying that the rest of the world revenue growth doesn't make sense. I'm saying that the extent to which it's trouncing U.S. revenue, given how like small of a piece of the pie it is, I don't know. Worth noting, something that stood out to me that I wanted to mention to you guys.
Yeah, this is an interesting report, right? Because you got a lot of, interesting things, some good, some bad. I do like the eucalyptus acquisition, of course. That added about $130 million in top line revenue. That is the look that I wanted to mention there. So they did close that transaction back in June, and it drove the rest of the world revenue, as Adara just mentioned, from $7.5 million up to 131.5 million. I gotta send it to you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the company highlighted subscriber growth, as Sia mentioned earlier, to around 3 million. That's a 19% increase year over year. To be honest with you, that is the highlight of the report for me. Aside from the full year guidance, looking ahead, 2026 revenue outlook to 3.1 billion and 3.3 billion versus 2.93 billion, what the analysts were expecting on that one. And I mentioned this, we were talking about this during the rundown as well, is that, hey, listen, it's a competitive space. You got to look at who their direct competitors are going to be. Now, if they're going to get involved with the peptides, they can most definitely be first in class with this. But with the compounding and the branded GLPs, that really, really hurt their margins. So for me personally, outside of the double-digit subscriber growth, which is fantastic, can help drive revenues, it's a little bit tougher of a look for Hims and Hers for me personally.
All right, so let's talk about their gross margins collapsing to 64%. That's down from 76 in Q2 of last year. Well, how come that happened? Well, they had a lot of different costs that increased on them. Fulfillment cost. There was also a lower international mix because of the eucalyptus. And then there were also upfront investments in their weight loss supply chains. But this is a company that printed $42.5 million in profit this time last year. When you look at their profitability this time, what are they down? They lost $86.3 million. Well, why did they lose money this year and make money last year? Simple. Because they were selling compounded GLP-1s. So I'll just give you guys a little bit of a backstory here. The pharmacy business in this province is super complicated because the markups on drugs are statutorily limited. You can make up to 10% on generic and up to 15% on brand names. Where there are exceptions are compounded drugs. There's no cap on the compounding, so I can charge as much as I want. And that's what they were taking advantage of there. They were buying very cheap input costs, and then the output was like almost 1,000 or 750% profit, what they were making. That has absolutely gone out the window because now they're having to buy Wegovy brand name, Ozempic brand name, Fundeo, whatever the other one is called. And obviously the margins are being made by Lilly, by Novo, not by them. So that kills the way that they were operating last year, and they still haven't recovered. And the way you know that is they were negative on the quarter, 83 or an $86.3 million net loss when they were profitable last year, $42.5 million.
Talk about Google, guys, here. GOOGL, a little bit of a bounce here on the market, a little bit of a bounce as well of Google off the lows. They have an event tomorrow called their Made by Google event for the new Pixel. I checked, it doesn't look like that's where these comments are coming from because, again, that's not supposed to happen until tomorrow. So Google CEO Sundar Pichai commenting on their Gemini, saying that Gemini is Google's fastest growing product ever and now has more than 1 billion monthly users. So Gemini growth being praised here by Google CEO Sundar Pichai. Good look here for GOOGL potentially.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to directly compete, out of how many of those are paid subscribers is what I'm curious to know, Adair. But other than that, listen, ChatGPT and Gemini definitely leading the race as for MAUs, right? Monthly active.
PLAG is open.
Monthly active users. So by all means, I mean, it's a really good look. It's continuing to grow and getting mass adoption. And then we also seen Microsoft Copilot gain 10 million paid subs on the quarter. So that's a pretty good look. What we got going on is METUNQ. Let's see if we can get this move north of the volume weighted average price. We removed 60% of our position up here. So now we're just going to wait post up at 22.42 to see if we can get a good price.
All right, PLAG is open and it's halted up. I can't believe this kind of price action, man. We were halted down for, I don't know, 12.39 it halted. It just opened up, 145 say. We were halted down at 266. We're halted up at 505. It's up 792%. And there was no way you could have known that because you wouldn't be able to know the top, the theoretical auction price. So whether people were sending buy limit or market on open orders or sell, there was no way for you to know that. So this one is as lottery ticket as it gets. But hey, good for everybody who killed that. Good on you guys. I know what's his name was worried about that one. Zion Lala, looks like you're okay here, Zion. Sending it back to you.
Final one, IHG. So CNBC had reported as today that reported that for IAG, the quote-unquote growing middle class is boosting their travel demand because the company had reported a boost in its profits despite the conflicts that we're seeing in the Middle East. So IAG has reported today that operating profits from reportable segments have grown 10% in the first half of the year to $665 million. Revenue from reportable segments is now up 7% to $1.3 billion, while global revenue per available room, that's RevPAR, has grown 4.1%. So RevPAR reported that it was up 4.4% in the first quarter compared to the previous year, but currently the growth has slowed in the second quarter to 3.5% as the impact of the US-Iran war and the travel slump, as we do call it, in the Middle East region has been felt. But the company has said that the accelerated growth in the United States, Asia Pacific, and Europe has helped offset the disruption from the Middle East conflict. The ticker IAG is flat as of today.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Sia, not a ticker I've ever loaded in my entire life, nor do I know too much about international intercontinental hotels, but they are a $23 billion market cap. I just can't comment intelligently on this, so what I'll do is I'll just look at the technicals. Let's start with the weekly. Looks really good. Looks quite good. So that's the COVID era low. There's the pullback into 22. Look, barely pulled back from 73 into what, 46. So that, what did it lose? It lost about 33% there, which isn't too bad given the COVID era highs. And then since the 22 low until not today's price action, but the highs, the all-time highs, you're up 272%. So whatever they're doing it right. Good for them. What do you think about this one?
I honestly, I'm not familiar with it either. I pulled up the Kospi here, guys. I wanted to talk a little bit about this because I feel like I didn't talk about it last week or anything along those lines. What we do have here, thank you, though, Sia, still down 32%. So the reason why I pulled this up, we're long some meta, and I was looking at some of the memory names a couple of seconds ago. So what I'm looking at here is why haven't we had more of a stronger snapback? And you guys know exactly where I stand when it comes to this. It's going to take a little bit more time. So if you're looking to get involved with SanDisk, accumulate some size, then I believe you'll have the ability to do so. But right now my focus is on METU. Are we consolidating, just accumulating more shares so we can have a nice volume spike through the volume weighted average price, I should say, and the continued momentum? HIMS did find its ground. Think about it. So this is a name that we were referring to not too long ago, earlier this morning, I should say. Strong holds the volume weighted average price, but what I was talking about is that I do believe you're going to find some form of a recovery, and then you can see there was a clear resistance zone at this 3152 marker on HIMS. So not too bad of a play. Man, Meta's starting to come back in. What is the NASDAQ up to? We'll get a little bit of a market update. Small rebound, but nothing crazy. Same thing with the SPY. A little bit weaker here today, but again, this is an extended move in my opinion. Let's see if we can get some pullback. This is getting awfully... Listen, I don't like this. And this is starting to remind me a little bit about Microsoft and what we've seen in some of the other names. I can't recall right at this given moment, but we're not pulling back deep enough. We're just consolidating, making those additional legs. And I understand what we have going on via the hyperscalers, but I want to see more of a healthy pullback. Things can get really dangerous. The higher that we climb, at some point we will come back into this zone. Mark my words, I could be wrong, but I have a lot of conviction in the fact that we will see 700 again on the SPY. It's just prolonging that. I don't like how we're just continuously going up, going up, going up. It can get really dangerous for a lot of traders, especially at these levels. We're looking at Moscow now, not too long ago. Silver and gold. Gold was hot for a couple of days, still breaking out. So you have that breakout level of 371. You climb 8%. And now just taking a little bit of a breath. So let's see if we can find some more recovery here in this name. Only down 21% only. I guess it's not fun when you have wealth depletion like that, Cherif. But what's depleting my unrealized gains right now is this Meta, no continuation north of VWAP. This is acting as a hefty defense. Should have took a little bit more off on that strong uptick. So here it's coming back in some more, but not too bad of a play. We did take 60% off right here. Still looking for a little bit of a move higher. Let's send it back to Adair.
Keep an eye here on Apple and Klarna, seeing reports that the Apple executive in charge of the pay and wallet services for the company is leaving in October. Now, I was curious, so I pulled up Klarna because we know that Klarna and Apple have some pay-related combinations. I didn't necessarily expect Klarna to move in this, but KLA are actually moving here again. Not clear if it's related to this story. But either way here, KLAR and Apple in focus, as an Apple executive in charge of Apple Pay and wallet services is leaving the company in October.
Yeah, great call out there, Dara. Let's read more into this, obviously, because Apple, continues to be my #1 holding. So Jennifer Bailey, a longtime head of pay and wallet services, is retiring from Apple after more than 2 decades at the company. Reported Bloomberg, citing a staff memo that Apple Services Chief Eddie Q sent to announce her departure. Under Jennifer's leadership, the memo reads, Apple Pay has changed the way hundreds of millions of our users pay. Before Jennifer's transition at the end of October, okay, good to know, we will announce her succession plan, and Jennifer will continue to be available to support the transition in an advisory role, the Q-man wrote in a quoted memo. Okay, cool. Interesting to know there. Needless to say, Apple Pay, glowing success. So this woman clearly knows what she's doing, and it'll be sad to see her go. Hopefully, whoever fills her shoes knows what they're doing as well, because Apple Pay is ubiquitous. Anywhere I go, Europe, the Middle East, all here, Apple Pay is available, and it's like one of the most convenient things ever. And I was actually showing this to Sia when we were at the Jays game. Apple Pay now, I bought a bunch of shoes using Apple Pay. So I'll go to the checkout, right? Say I'm buying from Coach, I'm buying from Foot Locker, or wherever, right? And then at the checkout, you can either, choose however method you want to pay. You want to enter a credit card, you want to pay over time using whatever, Affirm or Klarna, or now you can obviously PayPal, or you can just pay with Apple Pay. So I don't have to take out my wallet, enter my credit cards, anything like that, nor do I have to enter my address. All that is plugged into Apple Pay, and it makes the transaction as seamless as a point of sale transaction. Like when I go to the store, I just double tap the power button and you tap at the point of sale terminal. It literally is that easy, and it just scans my face to make sure that I want to go ahead with the purchase. So I love that. I think it's great. Knows about them Coach shoes. Yeah, I know about them Coach shoes, Brooke. Got a bunch of those. But anyway, I do like this. Obviously, it'd be nice to see some more advancements in Apple Pay. But hey, Joey,
what do you want? What do you like? So you and I can send without going each.
Didn't they say that was going to happen?
They were planning on that, having to. You can have a group chat and you can send it. Listen, I like pardon me?
Should be still on track for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with everything that you just said, because if you go to buy like event tickets with even other things, you don't even need to do the old traditional type in your credit card, do all this, all that. You just double click the side of your phone and then you're off to the races.
And I like that. I like that.
It makes things a lot easier. Right? I think it'll be even more convenient, because if you can just transfer money, if you can eliminate Zelle and PayPal and Cash App and all of these other features where you can just say, hey, you send somebody X amount of money via Apple Pay, if that's the case, think about what it is. So it's funny.
Okay.
So my friends and I, when we go to Mexico, the majority of them are American. So we're just have to transition cash. It would make things significantly easier if I could just send you something via Apple Pay and not have to go through that whole process in which PayPal and all these other methods
and that's the thing,
are just giving you just issues, man.
What I'd like to know is Apple Pay able to kind of do these cross-border transactions without problem? Like, think about that.
That's a good question.
Yeah. See, because there's AML stuff, anti-money laundering issues that you have to take into consideration when sending money abroad. So I'm sure that there's some sort of like capped amount that they
you can't send me, like, think about it. You're not going to be able to send like 20K or 10K.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Just so that you don't raise the ire of the regulator, right?
With that being said, again, there will always be a limit on what you can actually send. But could that be a small disruption to some of these stable coins? Because think about how many people have iPhones. Being able to transact money just like that, obviously you'll have currency headwinds, but I think that most definitely should be taken into consideration, regardless of what's going on with Circle and all of those other names. So BTC has entered the chat.
Good to. I'm not even gonna answer you. All right, let's look at Cerebras for Luis Suarez, because they're gonna report today. So looks like we've bottomed out here. I don't know, but this could be a big spiral rounded bottom. Well, like, look at this. So kind of we found that support right around 160, 170. Since that time, we've been putting in some higher lows. We got some higher highs. Sorry, the fly is attacking me again. We see some higher highs here. Well, we've clearly got a bit of a resistance level you can kind of see between 240 to 250. A lot of topping tail candles do reject that area. I'd like to see it take it out. I mean, we're not working with too much information here because this thing just IPO'd for the first time ever back on the 14th of May. So look, I don't know. This could be a more prolonged bear flag, or it could be a rounded bottom. You've got the right ingredients for a rounded bottom. You've got the downtrend. You've got the basing out, right? And then you've got the incrementally higher lows and higher highs with that kind of neckline, the cutoff point, which I would say to you is about 240 to 250. So, hey, man, Cerebus, PLAG is open again, and it's halted up at 555s. It is up 881%. It's going. So whoever is still in this, if y'all were crazy enough to hold from that halt into 266, your craziness has been rewarded amply. What a move up here, 555. But to take it back to Cerebus, yeah, you've got all the right ingredients for that rounded bottom. Whether it ends up coming in or not, you'll have to wait and see. But I do think that they do have a defensible moat, at least for the current technological environment, to put it that way. What do I mean? I mean, when RAM is at a premium, and I really do mean at a premium, you're paying about 4 to 5 times what you were paying for HBM now as you were last year. This is where their kind of specialty comes in, because they use a different type of RAM, a more available type of RAM, and a less expensive type of RAM in their kind of packaging with their GPUs and CPUs. So that could be, you know, a needle mover now. Is it a needle mover 4 or 5 years down the line when we have a lot more supply of HBM, or possibly a technological change not requiring us to use as much? So do they continue kind of to have a defensible mode at that time? I'm just not intelligent enough to know that. So I do like them for the moment, though, and I do like the price action rounding here, Joey.
All right, but yeah, that thing has been definitely difficult to navigate. So here is METU rejecting. So I thought we'd get somewhat of a accumulation, but that doesn't seem to be the narrative as we're starting to come back in. Now, considering I have 40% left of the position, I have to hold it till I don't have to do anything. I'm going to hold it until break even. You can see that trend line broke and we're starting to head lower. If I'm fortunate enough to get any more back into 2238 or 2240s, I will remove another 50% of my 40%, so cutting that position in half. We did give back a little unrealized gains, that is. So yeah, not too bad. I'll do the super chat and then I'll head over. How goes GMCO looks like for shorting? I'll let Cherif handle that one.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for the super chat. I'm heading over to the other desk. Trap Man, I'll see you over there, brother, momentarily. I hope you got everything sorted out with the kids. Katina Man got his coffee. I will be 1 second.
How's the coffee, Katina Man?
Oh, we got another. Katina Man's on
GMCO.
Ice, baby.
He's got a nice coffee. Okay, get it, Katina Man. GMCO. I think you mean QMCO, right? Because GMCO doesn't come up, and QMCO is making a move on the day. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say QMCO. Yeah, no problem. Shout out to SLC88. Thank you for the 10 super. So I already got that on the side chart. I didn't take any trades on it because it didn't give me a reason to take any trades on it. It broke this downtrend, I guess, so there maybe was a reason in hindsight, but hindsight's always 20/20. I don't think it's a great time to go short, just my opinion. I wouldn't take QMCO short until it loses VWAP, and that's at around 1770, 1775. You could. It's up to you, really. I mean, Luis does do this, by the way, in case y'all are wondering. He does take them short almost into the high of the day. And the reason he does that is so that if he's wrong, he knows almost immediately, because he'll put his stop above the area high. Case in point, what do we have here? We have a 1915 high, right? So let's just say, for the sake of example, you were to get in at 1875. You're looking short, and you're looking for $1, right? Because the VWAP's at 1770, 1775. PLAG is up. It's open again, and it's going to halt at 598. 598 limit up right now on PLAG. It's up 957%. Be careful with this one. And it's halted again to the upside. PLAG, 599, limit up. To continue my comment here, so if you get in at 1880, you're putting your high or your stop right above 1915. So I do like that about Luis's strategy, is he gets short near the high when he likes what he sees, with a purpose, getting short at the high, of getting stopped out at the closest possible location so that you have to take the least amount of loss. So I do like that about Luis's strategy. I've never employed it, so I can't vouch for it personally, but he seems to do quite well with it. And with that, we're going to send you over to the big boys. It's Joey in today for Neil, if anybody who's waiting, but the Katina